Chapter 1870. This voice, Qin Feiyong was stunned. He raised his head and looked in the direction of the voice. He saw a middle-aged man about 40 years old flying over from the distant void. Although the middle-aged man was a human, he had the aura of a merman. There's another merman? The mysterious lady raised her eyebrows and was about to kill the middle-aged man. Qin Feiyong quickly grabbed the mysterious lady and said, "Great-grandmother, don't. What's wrong?" The mysterious lady turned and looked at him suspiciously. "This," Qin Feiyong stammered, looking a little flustered. The inner demons joked, "Great-grandmother, you really can't kill this person, because he's my future father-in-law." Future father-in-law? The mysterious lady was stunned. Zhao Tailai, Yishu, and the others were also shocked. The inner demons said, "He's the mermaid princess father. Who asked you to talk?" Qin Feiyong glared at the inner demons and went to greet the mermaid emperor. "Feiyong, it's really you." After the two met, the mermaid emperor looked very excited. Qin Feiyong smiled and asked suspiciously, "Uncle, why are you here?" "It's a long story. Last night, I suddenly sensed 5 terrifying auras in the Sea of Despair. At that time, I thought it was a strong enemy. But when I followed them, I found that they were actually mermen. It was only then that I realized that there were so many terrifying false gods and war gods hidden in the mermaid clan." The mermaid emperor sighed. The mysterious lady flew over and said coldly, "It seems that you didn't rebel with them." Hearing this, the mermaid emperor glared at the mysterious lady and said, "The Qin emperor has given the mermaid clan a new life. How could I rebel?" "Not bad. You have a conscience. I admire you." The mysterious lady was not angry. Instead, a smile appeared on her face. "Actually, I wanted to stop them, but with my strength, how could they listen to me?" The mermaid emperor sighed. "Fortunately, you didn't come out to stop them. Otherwise, with their personalities, they would have killed you without hesitation." Old Qin said, "Yeah, I really don't understand. What are they trying to achieve by doing this? Isn't it good to live a normal life?" The mermaid emperor sighed. Qin Feiyong said, "Not everyone is as indifferent as Uncle." Alas, the mermaid emperor sighed deeply. He looked at Qin Feiyong and asked, "Where is my daughter?" Qin Feiyong wanted to say something but hesitated. There was a trace of sadness on his face. The mermaid emperor's eyelids twitched as he urged, "Hurry up and say something." "I'm sorry, Uncle." Qin Feiyong took a deep breath and looked at the mermaid emperor. "Uncle, she's dead." "What?" The mermaid emperor's body trembled. He grabbed Qin Feiyong's clothes and roared, "Why didn't you protect her?" "I also want to protect her. I want to protect all my relatives. But there are always helplessness in this world." Qin Feiyong lowered his head and said. When old Qin heard this, he suddenly had an uneasy premonition in his heart. He asked, "Feiyong, what do you mean?" "Not only the mermaid princess, mother, the little prince, grandpa, Yinwei, Jiang Jingyi, and all the people and beasts around me have died in the sea of reincarnation." Qin Feiyong said. "What?" Old Qin's eyes trembled as he asked, "In other words, only the few of you survived?" "Yes." Qin Feiyong nodded. "How could this be?" Old Qin murmured. Sorrow came from his heart. "But don't worry. They won't really die, including the people of the 9 regions." Qin Feiyong clenched his hands and said with an incomparably firm gaze, "What do you want to do?" The mysterious lady raised her eyebrows. The inner demons pursed his lips and said, "It can be done. It must be to open the gate of rebirth and resurrect them." Gate of rebirth? The mermaid emperor let go of Qin Feiyong and looked at everyone suspiciously. Qin Feiyong smiled and said, "Uncle, don't worry about this. Go back to the Sea of Despair first. I promise that I will bring your daughter back to visit you." The mermaid emperor looked deeply at Qin Feiyong and sighed. He patted Qin Feiyong's shoulder and smiled. "Don't force yourself too much." Although he was not strong, he had lived for so many years. At a glance, he knew that Qin Feiyong would definitely pay a high price to resurrect everyone. "Okay." Qin Feiyong nodded. "Then, everyone, I will take my leave. If you have time, Come to the Sea of Despair as a guest. The Mermaid Clan welcomes you at any time. The Mermaid Emperor looked at Old Sheen and the others and smiled. Of course. Old Sheen and the others nodded. Then, the Mermaid Emperor did not stay any longer and turned to leave. After watching the Mermaid Emperor disappear, the mysterious lady retracted her gaze and looked at everyone. Although this person's strength is not good, he has a grateful heart. It seems that there is no need to eliminate him. Everyone nodded. Even the inner demons did not object. Then, next, the mysterious lady's face turned serious. She looked at Qin Feiyong and said, "Let's talk about the Gate of Rebirth. I have made up my mind. There is nothing to talk about." Qin Feiyong shook his head. "Are you stupid?" The mysterious madam was furious and shouted, "Do you think your mother, your grandfather, your friends and companions will be grateful to you for what you've done? Wrong. Not only will they not be grateful to you, but they will also hate themselves. So what? If I have no family and no friends, there is no meaning in my life." Qin Feiyong lowered his head. "Who said you have no family now? No friends? The people and beasts standing here. Which one of them doesn't treat you like family?" The mysterious lady said angrily. Qin Feiyong raised his head and looked at Old Man Qin, Zhao Tailai, and the others. Everyone was also looking at him with a smile on their faces. This smile made him feel warm in his heart. However, he did not change his mind. He retracted his gaze and turned to leave without saying a word. "Where are you going? Stop right there." The mysterious lady shouted and was about to chase after him. The inner demons reached out and stopped the mysterious lady. Looking at Qin Feiyong, who disappeared from their sight step by step, the inner demons sighed. "Let him be." The mysterious lady said, "You also let him mess around? I am his inner demons. In this world, the person who understands him the most is me. All these years, why did he work so hard? Isn't it to protect the people around him?" Although the chaos of the demon ancestor, Mu Tianyang, and the mermaid clan has been quelled, his heart is even emptier than before. The reason is that he lost his family and companions. If he doesn't open the Gate of Rebirth and revive everyone, he won't be able to rest in peace for the rest of his life. Life will also lose its meaning, and he will be like a walking corpse. I don't think this is the ending you want to see. The inner demons looked at the mysterious lady and laughed. The mysterious lady lowered her head and fell silent. Forgotten continent. In the second area, deep in a mountain, two figures floated in the air. It was Dong Zhengyang, the snow python. Beside him, Snowflake, Bloodblade, and the demon tower were repairing themselves. Dong Zhengyang glanced at the surrounding mountains and rivers and sighed. "I really didn't expect that the plan this time would fail." The snow python said, "The failure lies in the inner demons. Why didn't you control him as well?" "I was indeed careless. One wrong step and the whole game is lost." However, at that time, it was very difficult to control the inner demons. After all, he was moving, and the seal of fate couldn't lock onto him. Dong Zhengyang said, "Then what should we do now? You've planned for so many years, are you going to fail just like that?" The snow python asked. "Let's wait. The demon ancestor, Mu Tianyang, and Mu Qing are all dead. We can only wait for the next person to open the eye of despair, the eye of evil, and the eye of heaven." Dong Zhengyang said. The snow python looked at Dong Zhengyang with a gentle gaze that had never been seen before. It suddenly smiled and said, "The demon ancestor and the others are not dead." "Not dead?" Dong Zhengyang was stunned and turned to look at the snow python. A bloody light flashed in front of the snow python, and 4 drops of blood appeared. Dong Zhengyang was surprised. These 4 drops of blood belonged to the demon ancestor, Mo Long, Mu Tianyang, and Mu Qing. At that time, when my divine power collided with Qin Yuan, it stirred up dust in the sky. At that time, when Qin Yuan and Qin Feiyong weren't paying attention, I collected their blood. The snow python laughed. "Good. Very good." Dong Zhengyang was overjoyed and said, "Qin Feiyong will definitely open the Gate of Rebirth. At that time, as long as these 4 drops of blood are sent into the Gate of Rebirth, they will naturally be reborn." Yes, the snow python nodded. Dong Zhengyang asked, "What about Xin Mei and Mu Tianjun?" Mu Tianjun turned into ashes. Even his bones are gone. There is no way to collect his flesh and blood. As for Xin Mei, she is of no value to us at all, so I didn't collect her blood. The snow python said, "You are silly. Xin Mei is of no value to us, but she is very important to Mu Tianyang. Otherwise, he wouldn't have risked his life to protect Shan Mei when the Space Divine item was destroyed." Dong Zhengyang sighed. "Then we will tell Mu Tianyang that Xin Mei is gone, and there is no way to revive her." The snow python said indifferently, "That is the only way." Dong Zhengyang nodded. "You want to use the seal of fate to control them and collect the blood of the demon ancestor and the others. This old man is really curious. What are you planning?" An old voice suddenly sounded. Then, Qin Yuan appeared in front of the two of them out of thin air. "Old thing, you are really haunting us." The snow python immediately shouted and hurriedly collected the blood of the demon ancestor and the others. Then, it protected Dong Zhengyang behind it. "Don't be nervous." Dong Zhengyang comforted the snow python and walked to its side. He looked at Qin Yuan and said with a smile, "Long time no see. It has indeed been many years. However, this old man always thought that you had fallen. I didn't expect that you had changed your identity." Qin Yuan said, "There is no other way. That terrifying existence wants to kill me. If I don't change my identity in advance, I will definitely be destroyed. After all, whether it is me or you, we are just ants in this world. We have no right to choose." Dong Zhengyang looked at the sky with a trace of inexplicable sadness and helplessness. Chapter 1871. Qin Yuan looked at Dong Zhengyang, was silent for a while, and then said, "Well, tell me everything. Do you really want to know?" Dong Zhengyang retracted his gaze and asked Qin Yuan, "If you can't convince me, I will kill you and destroy the blood of the demon ancestor." Qin Yuan said, "You dare?" The snow python stared at Qin Yuan angrily. "See if I dare." Qin Yuan glanced at her indifferently. "Swear, don't worry." Dong Zhengyang looked at the snow python and said intimately, then looked at Qin Yuan and smiled. "If I can convince you, can you promise me one thing?" "What is it?" Qin Yuan was suspicious. Dong Zhengyang said, "When Qin Feiyang opens the gate of rebirth, send the blood of the demon ancestor and the others into the gate of rebirth." Qin Yuan frowned. The snow python sneered, "Old thing, don't you dare?" Qin Yuan glanced at the snow python and looked at Dong Zhengyang. "It seems that you are very confident that you can convince me." Dong Zhengyang smiled and said nothing. Qin Yuan pondered for a long time and nodded. "Well, if you can really convince me, what's wrong with helping you?" The imperial capital. A day and a night passed. The emperor, Emperor Hong, and Qin Sheng. The civil and military officials were still in the throne room and had not dispersed. From the beginning of the battle, there was no smile on their faces. After so long, there was no news at all. How was the battle in the Sea of Reincarnation? The emperor could no longer sit still. He glanced at the civil and military officials below and asked, "Who has established a contract bridge with Feiyang?" The civil and military officials looked at each other and finally shook their heads. The emperor looked at Emperor Hong and asked, "Grandfather, what about you?" "I don't either." Emperor Hong sighed. "In such a big imperial capital, no one has established a contract bridge with him. It can be seen that Feiyang doesn't even have a friend in the imperial capital. It's all my fault." The emperor blamed himself. "Your Majesty, what did you do wrong?" Qin Sheng was suspicious. The civil and military officials couldn't figure it out. Whether he had friends or not was Qin Feiyang's own business. What did it have to do with His Majesty? If it weren't for us, would Feiyang have fallen into a situation where the entire world is his enemy? If he hadn't fallen into a situation where the whole world was his enemy, would he have no friends at all? If this is not our fault, then whose fault is it? The emperor said furiously. Everyone fell silent. "Your Majesty, when His Highness was in the imperial capital, he was very close to Sundahai of the Treasure Pavilion. In my opinion, Sundahai should be able to contact Your Highness," an old official suddenly said. "Sundahai." The emperor was stunned and hurriedly said, "Call him to the throne room immediately." No need to trouble Sundahai. At this moment, Lu Zheng suddenly appeared outside the hall and strode into the throne room. Lu Zheng. The emperor's eyes lit up. Lu Zheng glanced at the civil and military officials, then looked at the emperor and snorted coldly. I knew it. Other than old Qin, no one in the entire imperial palace has established a contract bridge with little cousin. The emperor looked ashamed. Lu Zheng sighed and said, Uncle, in fact, you shouldn't blame yourself too much. After all, you were also trying to protect little cousin before. Uncle. The emperor looked at Lu Zheng in a daze. For so many years, it was the first time he heard Lu Zheng call him uncle. The word uncle almost made him cry. Lu Zheng smiled faintly, took out the image crystal, and sent a message to Qin Feiyang. The emperor also restrained his mind and quietly stared at the image crystal in Lu Zheng's hand. Emperor Hong, Qin Shang, and the civil and military officials were also extremely nervous for a moment. However, after a long while, the image crystal did not show the slightest reaction. How could this be? Could it be that His Highness? The civil and military officials were in an uproar. Shut up. Lu Zheng glanced at them, shouted coldly with a gloomy face, and sent a message to Lu Hong and others. But in the end, no one responded to him. No. Lu Zheng shook his head. He was very clear about Qin Feiyang's current strength. It was impossible for him to encounter any mishaps. But why didn't anyone react? The emperor's gaze turned and fell on Emperor Hong. He said worriedly, Grandfather, Feiyang and the others, don't panic. Emperor Hong shouted. After pondering for a moment, he said gloomily, I'll go to Devil Dragon Island to take a look. I'll go too. Lu Zheng said. Emperor Hong said angrily, What are you going to do? Stay here and wait for me. Qin Feiyang is my cousin. Hong is my beloved woman. Fatso and the others are also my most cherished friends. You told me not to go. Aren't you just letting me suffer here? Lu Zheng shouted. Emperor Hong gave him a deep look, opened a teleportation gate and said, Come with me. The two walked in one after another. When the Blood Kirin told Qin Feiyang the coordinates of Devil Dragon Island, Emperor Hong and Lu Zheng were both present. Therefore, they also heard it. After the two left, the emperor and the others waited anxiously in the throne room. As Lu Zheng said, this was really a torment. Time passed bit by bit. Finally, the horizon was white. The sun slowly rose from the east, and the sun shone on the earth. At this moment, Emperor Hong and Lu Zheng returned. Both of them looked very tired, and their eyes were unfocused. How is it? The emperor hurriedly stood up and asked the two of them. Devil Dragon Island has disappeared. Whether it's Feiyang or Devil Ancestor, neither of them have been found. Emperor Hong lowered his head and muttered. Although his voice wasn't loud, it resounded in everyone's mind. Boom! Everyone felt as if they had been struck by lightning, especially the emperor. His entire body was paralyzed on the dragon throne, his face full of pain. Qin Shang looked at the emperor worriedly and asked, Lord Emperor Hong, did you not find a single person? No. In that sea area, other than the fluctuations of the battle and that tragic aura, there was nothing else. As Emperor Hong spoke, he also closed his eyes in pain. So, Your Highness and the Devil Ancestor have died together? Qin Shang murmured, suddenly raised his head, and roared in grief. The heavens are jealous of the talents. The heavens are jealous of the talents. Spirit state. No one knew what was going on in the throne room at the moment. Tang Hai, Zhao Tailai, Cui Li, the Golden Leopard, and the Blood Kirin were all lying on the ground. After the bloody battle in the Sea of Reincarnation, they were already exhausted. Now, they didn't even want to move. They just wanted to lie here quietly and have a good sleep. The Blood Kirin looked at the sky and grinned. Do you think we are dreaming? Facing the Devil Ancestor and Mu Tianyang, as well as Snow and Blood Blade, these terrifying existences, we can still survive. It is indeed like a dream. Zhao Tailai laughed softly. Don't talk. Let me have a good sleep. Tang Hai murmured to himself as he slowly closed his eyes. Not long after, he fell asleep. Zhao Tailai glanced at Tang Hai and smiled helplessly. This guy actually fell asleep. After all, he has been fighting 1 against 2 in this battle. He must be more tired than you and me. The golden leopard shook his head and smiled. Zhao Tailai said, "Speaking of which, the most tired person should be Chui Li. Yes, if he hadn't been holding the 6 war gods back, we would have been dead." The golden leopard said. Zhao Tailai, the golden leopard, and the blood Kirin turned to look at Chui Li and found that he was already fast asleep. This guy, it seems like he's really tired. Zhao Tailai shook his head and smiled. Right. The golden leopard's eyes lit up. Haven't you always wanted to know what Tanghai looks like? Now is a good chance. Yes. Old Zhao, take off his mask and look. The blood Kirin said. Zhao Tailai hesitated. That's not good. It's taking advantage of him. The golden leopard said. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This, Zhao Tailai thought for a while, then gritted his teeth, raised his arm, and reached for the mask on Tang Hai's face. Slap. But then, the inner demon stepped forward and slapped Zhao Tailai's hand away. He looked at Zhao Tailai, the golden leopard, and the blood Kirin and scolded, "If you're tired, rest. Don't think about this nonsense all day." The man and the 2 beasts laughed. But then again, what does this guy look like? I'm so curious. The inner demons muttered. He turned around and squatted on the ground, blocking Zhao Tailai and the blood Kirin's view. He then took off Tang Hai's mask. What? Immediately, he was stunned. Master, what? What? Don't block us. Let us have a look. You can't be so selfish. Zhao Tailai and the blood Kirin heard the inner demon's exclamation and became even more curious. So, this is your real face. The inner demons ignored them. He looked at Tang Hai's face and muttered. Then, he put the mask back on Tang Hai's face. Then, the inner demon stood up and turned around to look at Zhao Tailai and the blood Kirin. He said angrily, "Peeping on other people's privacy is very rude. Behave yourselves." As soon as he finished speaking, he started to walk towards Old Man Qin and the others. He was the one who was peeping. How dare he scold us? How shameless. Zhao Tailai and the blood Kirin looked at the inner demons with disdain. The mysterious lady looked at Tang Hai and the others. Then, she looked at the inner demons and smiled. Are they all tired? Of course. It's such a difficult battle. Even a machine can't take it. The inner demons smiled. The slaughter area had already disappeared. He didn't look angry at all. He looked very friendly. Thank you for your hard work. Right? When you went to the Forgotten Continent to kill Mu Tianyang, did you see him killing people? The mysterious lady asked. No. We went straight to the glacier forest. We didn't go anywhere else. The inner demons shook his head. Yishu sighed and said, I hope they are all safe. Now, there is another problem. The king and King Hong haven't received any news from us. They must be worried. But the teleportation altar was destroyed. The time gate won't open until tomorrow. This, old Qin couldn't help but sigh. That's not a big deal. We have to go back sooner or later. Now, I am worried about Fei Yang. Where did he go? The mysterious lady frowned and looked in the direction that Qin Fei Yang had disappeared. Her eyes were full of worry. Please remember the domain name of this book. Literature Library Mobile Version Website. Chapter 1872. He Province. A white-robed young man was walking silently in the void. He was like a lonely traveler, not saying a word from beginning to end. Behind him, a river of blood was floating. That was real blood, a river of blood that had gathered. This blood was from both humans and beasts. The white-robed young man was Qin Fei Yang. At this moment, he was collecting the blood of the creatures of the 9 continents. Along the way, he had seen too many mountains of corpses and seas of blood, and felt a lot of despair and resentment. This made his heart particularly painful. Every injustice has its perpetrator. Every debt has its debtor. Even if the Qin clan was wrong, they should be blamed. Why did they kill the creatures of the 9 continents? What did they do wrong? Why did they have to suffer such an unfair massacre? If it weren't for the fact that the mermaids of the undersea city didn't participate, he would definitely kill them all. Even if the mermaid princess came back to life, she wouldn't be able to stop him. The rising sun warmed people's hearts, but it couldn't dispel the blood mist that permeated between heaven and earth and the resentment that couldn't be dispelled. Time passed little by little. Night fell. Qin Feiyang's footsteps had already traveled all over the 9 continents. Finally, he returned to his original starting point, Iron Ox Town. The river of blood behind him had turned into a sea of blood. This was the blood of the creatures of the 9 continents. But it wasn't all, because many people and beasts had been destroyed, and even their blood couldn't be found. This night, he stood in the sky above Iron Ox Town, recalling the scenes of the past. There were joys and sorrows. It was very long, but also very short. Life was like this. When you walk, you feel that every step is difficult and long. But when you look back, everything is just a blink of an eye. No matter what the outcome is, you have done it. Uncle Yuan is sincerely happy and proud for you. Early morning, an old laughter suddenly spread in the void, and Qin Yuan appeared beside Qin Feiyang out of thin air. Thank you. Qin Feiyang turned to look at Qin Yuan, and a long-lost smile appeared on his face. Qin Yuan glanced at the sea of blood behind him and asked, "Is this the blood of the creatures of the 9 continents?" "Yes. They are innocent. They shouldn't have died like this." Qin Feiyang nodded. Qin Yuan retracted his gaze and smiled. "I won't interfere with what you want to do as long as you don't regret it. You've watched me grow up. You must know very well that even if you intervene, you can't stop me." Qin Feiyang smiled. "You brat." Qin Yuan shook his head and smiled. He lowered his head and muttered to himself, "About Dong Xingyang." Qin Feiyang was stunned. He turned to look at Qin Yuan and asked, "You went to see him?" "Yes. He told me a lot." Qin Yuan nodded. "Who exactly is Dong Xingyang?" Qin Feiyang frowned. After this incident, he did not believe that Dong Xingyang was simply a descendant of the Dong family. Qin Yuan said, "Before me, the guardian of this continent was actually Dong Xingyang." "What?" Qin Feiyang was shocked. He did not expect this answer at all. "Wait. To be precise, the real Dong Xingyang is already dead?" Qin Yuan said. Qin Feiyang was surprised. "You mean, he possessed Dong Xingyang?"
Yes.
Qin Yuan nodded. "Then who is he?" Qin Feiyang asked. Qin Yuan said, "His original body was a winged dragon. He was a partner with the snow python of the Forgotten Continent." Winged dragon? Qin Feiyang was shocked. This winged dragon was a real divine dragon. He was killed by the small beast. Now, he is Dong Xingyang. Dong Xingyang is him. So in the future, don't think of him as a winged dragon. Just think of him as Dong Xingyang. Qin Yuan smiled. "What? He was killed by the small beast?" Qin Feiyang was shocked. Wasn't he the guardian of this continent in the past? How could he be killed by the small beast? Qin Yuan said, "His death is related to his fighting soul." Fighting soul? Qin Feiyang was shocked. Yes, the fighting soul that he activated is called the Eye of Destiny. Together with your Eye of Heaven, it is ranked 3rd among the top 10 fighting souls. Qin Yuan said, "Eye of Destiny." Qin Feiyang frowned and asked suspiciously, "What's so scary about the Eye of Destiny? Why would it bring death to him?" The Eye of Destiny can see the fate of the future. Furthermore, as his cultivation level increases, the future he can see will be further and further away. Qin Yuan said, "It's so heaven-defying?" Qin Feiyang was shocked. Yes, back then, he saw his own future and knew that the small beast was coming to kill him. Therefore, he split a part of his soul and escaped in advance. Qin Yuan smiled. Qin Feiyang was in disbelief and said, "Why is such a heaven-defying fighting soul ranked below the Eye of Heaven? Logically speaking, it should be ranked first." Because the Eye of Destiny doesn't have much killing power, it is ranked below the Eye of Reincarnation and the Eye of Heaven. Qin Yuan smiled faintly. Qin Feiyang nodded and asked, "Did the small beast kill him because he touched some taboo?" "Yes. He saw a future that he shouldn't have seen," Qin Yuan said. "A future that he shouldn't have seen?" Qin Feiyang was slightly stunned and asked, "What kind of future is it?" Regarding this, Qin Yuan pondered for a moment. He smiled and said, "If you have the chance, you can ask him personally. Also, I don't want to talk about how he used the Seal of Destiny to control all of you." Qin Feiyang was speechless and said, "You clearly know." Why do you want me to ask him? Qin Yuan said, because I still can't accept these things. Therefore, I can't tell you. Qin Feiyang's pupils shrank. Even Uncle Yuan couldn't accept it. What kind of future did Dong Jingyang see? After a moment of silence, Qin Feiyang said helplessly, "All right, I'll ask him when I have the chance. When did you become a guardian?" It's a coincidence. When the small beast killed him, I was looking for a few herbs nearby and was discovered by the small beast. I thought that it would kill me too, but I didn't expect that it would make me the guardian of this continent. Qin Yuan shook his head and smiled bitterly. Qin Feiyang was stunned. So you agreed in a daze? Wrong. Qin Yuan said. Wrong? Qin Feiyang was stunned. I didn't become a guardian in a daze. In fact, I didn't want to be a guardian. Qin Yuan sighed. What do you mean? Qin Feiyang was puzzled. My current cultivation base is half-step Divine Lord. This was raised by the small beast. You know this, Qin Yuan said. Qin Feiyang nodded. You've already said this in the glacier forest. Qin Yuan said. Then do you know why it helped me raise my cultivation base? Qin Feiyang pondered for a moment and said with a smile, Isn't this simple? To protect a continent, one naturally needs to be strong enough. Yes. After every guardian takes office, their cultivation base will be raised to half-step Divine Lord by the small beast. But do you know? Although we can become stronger in an instant, the price we have to pay is something that no one can bear. Qin Yuan said. What price? Qin Feiyang was puzzled. We can't cultivate anymore. In other words, our cultivation base will be stuck at half-step Divine Lord forever. Qin Yuan said. What? Then why are you still a guardian? Qin Feiyang said angrily. For the great Qin. Qin Yuan said with a smile. For the great Qin. Qin Feiyang murmured. Suddenly, he seemed to have thought of something and his eyes trembled. I remember that at that time, you weren't born yet. Even your mother wasn't pregnant with you. But you also know that long before your father succeeded the throne, the demon ancestor and the imperial preceptor had already taken control of the great Qin. Qin Yuan said, Father and great-grandfather have already told me about this. The demon ancestor let Zhuge Shenyun lurk in the imperial palace as the imperial preceptor in order to monitor the great Qin and wait for a descendant of the Qin clan who has undergone atavism. Qin Feiyang said, That's right. You should know my identity now. I'm your grandfather, the subordinate of Emperor Chun. Qin Yuan said. Qin Feiyang nodded. Your grandfather and I have a master-servant relationship, and we are also very good friends. He didn't hide anything about the imperial preceptor and the demon ancestor's scheme from me. Back then, it wasn't just your grandfather. I was also worried. But what could we do? The demon ancestor's foundation is so terrifying. We could only endure. So, when I met Small Beast and heard that after becoming a guardian, my strength would rise to half-step Divine Lord, I agreed without hesitation. Qin Yuan said. Uncle Yuan. Qin Feiyang looked at the old man in front of him, tears falling uncontrollably from his eyes. Uncle Yuan sacrificed so much to protect the great Qin and the descendants of the Qin clan. Although becoming a guardian means that I can't participate in the conflicts of the continent, I can intimidate the demon ancestor and wait for the rise of the Qin clan's descendants. Qin Yuan said with a smile. Uncle Yuan, thank you. Qin Feiyang knelt in the void and kowtowed heavily to Qin Yuan. If not for Uncle Yuan's protection over the years, the great Qin would have been destroyed by the demon ancestor and the Big Fish clan. The descendants of the Qin clan would probably have been wiped out as well. Qin Yuan stretched out his hand to help Qin Feiyang up and said with a smile, Silly child, Uncle Yuan is also a part of the great Qin. Protecting the great Qin is Uncle Yuan's responsibility. What are you thanking me for? Qin Feiyang wiped away his tears and asked, Does grandfather know about this? No, I didn't tell anyone. After Small Beast left, I returned to the imperial palace and quietly stayed by your grandfather's side like before. Later on, your mother was pregnant with you. You also know that the imperial preceptor had already infiltrated the imperial palace to monitor everyone. So, whenever the emperor's concubine was pregnant, everyone would be especially nervous. Me too. Back then, When you were still in your mother's womb, I had been secretly observing you, and when you gradually formed, I realized that you were a little different from the other princes and princesses. Qin Yuan said. Genius remembered this site's address in a second. Apex mobile version website. Chapter 1873. What's different? Qin Feiyong was curious. At first, this old man didn't understand. Later, when you were about to be born, this old man finally noticed the difference. It turns out that in your bloodline power, you were born with the aura of the purple gold dragon blood, but the aura of this purple gold dragon blood is extremely weak. Other than this old man, no one else noticed it. Qin Yuan laughed. I remember my father and great-grandfather said that when I was 10 years old, my bloodline power began to show signs of atavism. It seems that it's not without reason. Qin Feiyong laughed proudly. Qin Yuan shook his head and laughed. At that time, this old man discovered this and was very happy, because in the future, you will definitely be able to activate the purple gold dragon blood. But, speaking of this, Qin Yuan sighed, his face full of melancholy. Demon ancestor? Qin Feiyong asked.
Yes.
If the demon ancestor knows about this, he will definitely be even crazier. However, this old man can't participate in these disputes. In the end, after thinking about it, I can only let nature take its course, but this old man has also made arrangements in advance. For example, the enchantment in your grandfather's walking stick was secretly set up by this old man. Qin Yuan laughed. So it's like this. Qin Feiyong suddenly understood. After all, your parents have already discussed to give birth to you in the Liu family. This enchantment might be able to help you. And at that time, this old man specially left an anonymous note to tell your grandfather about the existence of the enchantment. But in the end, because of the appearance of Changshui and the ancient castle, this enchantment was useless at all. Qin Yuan shook his head and laughed. Although it was useless at that time, isn't it useful now? Qin Feiyong laughed. If it wasn't for this enchantment, the Liu family would have been razed to the ground by Zhuge Mingyang. This is the so-called unpredictable world. Later, your grandfather and grandfather were taken away by the demon ancestor. This old man was worried about their safety, so I entered the demonic dragon island and gave him a warning. It was also at that time that the demon ancestor finally knew that I was the guardian of this continent. As for what happened after that, you already know. When you were 10 years old, your father crippled your bloodline power and expelled you from the imperial capital. As for your mother, she couldn't bear to see you wandering outside alone. Thus, she came to find this old man and asked me to take care of you. However, your mother doesn't know. Even if she didn't come looking for this old man wouldn't sit idly by. Qin Yuan smiled. After Qin Feiyong heard this, he sighed and said, I really didn't expect that so many things had happened back then. The road to happiness is strewn with setbacks. If you hadn't experienced all those things back then, would you have your current accomplishments? Qin Yuan said. Qin Feiyong said with a wry smile, Your words are exactly the same as what the shadowless man said to me back then. The shadowless? Qin Yuan was puzzled. I've never seen him before, but whenever I'm about to give up, his voice will appear to encourage me. That's why I call him the shadowless. Qin Feiyong said. Qin Yuan said in surprise, I didn't expect that there was actually still someone secretly helping you. Yeah, I'm very grateful to him, Qin Feiyong said with a smile. Suddenly, he looked at Qin Yuan in surprise and said, Uncle Yuan, don't tell me that the shadowless man is you? This old man? Qin Yuan was stunned and shook his head. I'm not lying to you this time. It's really not this old man. Seeing that Qin Yuan didn't show any signs of lying, Qin Feiyong said with a smile, Then I'm really looking forward to it. This old man is also looking forward to his appearance. After all, he has taken care of you. No matter what, this old man has to thank him properly. Qin Yuan said. Qin Feiyong smiled and said suspiciously, There's one thing that I still don't understand. I have no enmity with the snow python. Why would she make things difficult for me? Could it be because of Dong Zhengyang? No. She made things difficult for you because of this old man. Qin Yuan shook his head. Why do you say that? Qin Feiyong was puzzled. Qin Yuan pondered for a while and sighed. You don't know. In fact, the snow python is not a snow python. It's a white dragon. What? She's a white dragon? Qin Feiyong was surprised. Yes. Back then, when Yinglong was killed, her character became extremely violent, and she treated human lives like grass. The number of people who have died under her claws is innumerable. Later on, this old man couldn't stand it anymore and reported this matter to Small Beast. When Small Beast learned about this, it directly used its magic power to turn her into a snow python, and she can never return to her white dragon body. Because of this, she has always hated this old man. You are the person that this old man cares about the most. Naturally, she doesn't like you. However, because of this old man, she didn't dare to really do anything to you. Qin Yuan said, I see. I thought that I had offended her somehow. Qin Feiyong pursed his lips. Qin Yuan said, didn't she ask you for the purple gold dragon blood? Yes, yes, yes. That time, the purple gold dragon blood in my body was almost drained by her. Qin Feiyong said. Qin Yuan said, she just wanted to fuse with the purple gold dragon blood to see if she could recover her white dragon body. Then, did she recover? Qin Feiyong asked. No, but because she fused with the purple gold dragon blood, she also recovered some dragon aura. Qin Yuan said. Dragon aura. So it's her. Qin Feiyong muttered. He remembered that one time at the ice lake, he sensed a dragon aura, but this dragon aura was like a flash in the pan. He thought it was an illusion and didn't expect it to be the snow python. That's not right. Didn't she know that Yinglong was not dead? Why did she go crazy and kill people? Qin Feiyong said. She didn't know at that time. Because at that time, Yinglong was afraid of implicating her and was also afraid that she would accidentally leak it, so he didn't tell her. Qin Yuan said. Qin Feiyong nodded in realization. Suddenly, he thought that he seemed to have overlooked a more important problem. Uncle Yuan, just now you said that you reported this matter to the small beast. Does that mean that you can contact the golden small beast? Qin Feiyong was surprised. Indeed. Qin Yuan nodded. Qin Feiyong said, then quickly contact it. Contact it for what? Do you want to take back Changshui just like that? Impossible. Although it is because of it that I became a guardian in its eyes, I am nothing at all. If I annoy it, it will even kill me. Qin Yuan said. When Qin Feiyong heard this, a trace of disappointment appeared on his face. Don't be discouraged. I believe that with your talent, you will catch up with it sooner or later. At that time, you can find it openly and take back Changshui. Qin Yuan smiled. Okay. Qin Feiyong nodded and asked, should we tell the small beast that Yinglong didn't die and disappeared? I have already thought about this matter. Where it is possible to make mistakes, one should be lenient. Qin Yuan sighed. You are also a kind-hearted person. Qin Feiyong shook his head and said, good will be rewarded with good. Qin Yuan chuckled. Perhaps. Qin Feiyong smiled faintly and said, also, although Yinglong has opened the Eye of Destiny, Dong Xingyang has not. He should be unable to see the future now. No. Dong Xingyang has also opened the Eye of Destiny, Qin Yuan said. How is that possible? I have seen Dong Xingyang's battle soul. It is clearly an ancient mountain, and its special ability is also the gravity domain. Qin Feiyong said. This is only what you see on the surface. Not long ago, Yinglong told me that before the small beast killed him, he used the Eye of Destiny to see that a young man in the spiritual state would open the Eye of Destiny after his death. This young man is Dong Xingyang. Indeed. When he possessed Dong Xingyang, not only did he open the Eye of Destiny, but he also opened the battle soul, the ancient mountain. This means that he has two battle souls. However, he usually hides the Eye of Destiny, and no one knows about it. Qin Yuan said, he can really see the future? Qin Feiyong was shocked. Qin Yuan reminded him, the Eye of Destiny is very scary. You must be careful when you face him in the future. I know. Qin Feiyong nodded and asked, there is another question. Since Dong Xingyang is so powerful, why wasn't he sent to the second level by the power of the rules when he entered the miracle site? The Eye of Destiny can hide one's fate. In other words, no one can discover it. Qin Yuan said. It is indeed very powerful. Qin Feiyang mumbled. Qin Yuan smiled and said, by the way, the 10,000 Beasts illustration was given to Dong Xingyang by the Snow Python. The 10,000 Beasts illustration belongs to the Snow Python? Qin Feiyang was stunned and asked suspiciously, then why did it fall into the hands of the state preceptor? It has something to do with you. Qin Yuan smiled. Something to do with me? Qin Feiyang didn't understand. Back then, you were wanted by the emperor. Everyone related to you was interrogated by the state preceptor, including Dong Xingyang. At that time, Dong Xingyang wasn't as strong as the state preceptor. The state preceptor felt the aura of the 10,000 Beasts illustration and snatched it from Dong Xingyang. However, I didn't expect it to fall into your hands. You didn't see the Snow Python's expression when Shuili took out the 10,000 Beasts illustration. Qin Yuan shook his head and smiled. Haha, Qin Feiyang couldn't help but laugh. Qin Yuan smiled and said, all right then, the matters here are almost settled. You can go back to the imperial capital. What about you? Qin Feiyang quickly asked. Qin Yuan said, this old man will first repair the teleportation altar and then find a quiet place to think about some problems. What problems? Qin Feiyang was suspicious. Nothing. Qin Yuan shook his head and smiled. With a wave of his hand, a man and a beast appeared in the void. Who did it? Qin Feiyang looked at the man and the beast with a cold light in his eyes. This man and beast were Tan Wu and the infernal divine hound. Dong Xingyang. Qin Yuan sighed. This damn bastard. Qin Feiyang was furious. Enough. Dong Xingyang was merciful. Otherwise, not even their bones would be left. Without bones, you can't resurrect them. And at that time, we didn't find the two of them on the mountain peak. In the end, it was Dong Xingyang who told this old man. This Tan Wu and the infernal divine hound are both promising talents. Since you want to open the gate of rebirth, you can resurrect them together. Qin Yuan said, I understand. Qin Feiyang nodded and put away the corpses of Tan Wu and the infernal divine hound. Then, he sent the sea of blood behind him to the Black Tortoise realm and protected it with a divine force barrier to prevent it from evaporating and spilling down. After all, the cultivation of the creatures in the 9 continents was relatively weak. If they weren't protected, they would evaporate soon. Then let's go. It's already dawn. Don't let everyone wait too long. Qin Yuan waved his hand and disappeared with Qin Feiyang. Please remember the domain name of this book. The mobile version of the literature library reading website, M. Chapter 1874. Butterfly Valley. After this battle, this place had changed beyond recognition. Everyone gathered together, anxiously waiting for Qin Feiyang. After a day and a night of rest, Tang Hai and the others were in good spirits. The inner demons turned to look at Elder Qin and said, why don't you return to the capital first and tell Father and the others that you're safe? After a day and a night, the spatial gate in Elder Qin's hand could be opened. I'm worried if I don't see Feiyang return. Elder Qin shook his head. You still have us. Moreover, with my strength now, no one in the entire Great Qin or Forgotten Continent can hurt him. What are you worried about? The inner demon smiled. Elder Qin was stunned for a moment, then nodded and said, that's true. Then I'll go back first? Go. Go back and tell them in advance so that they can relax. The inner demon said. Old Man Qin took out the replica space-time gate. Swoosh. However, at this moment, 2 figures, one old and one young, appeared out of thin air. It was Qin Yuan and Qin Feiyang. Feiyang, young master. A group of people immediately went up to greet him. Qin Feiyang looked at everyone and smiled apologetically. I've made you worry. What nonsense are you talking about? The mysterious lady rolled her eyes at him and looked at Qin Yuan with a smile. You must be the Uncle Yuan that Feiyang always talks about. Yes. Qin Yuan nodded and bowed. Greetings, madam. Don't. You're the protector of this continent. You can't accept such a great gift. The mysterious lady hurriedly said. Although I'm a protector, I'm also a citizen of the Great Qin. You're the wife of the previous emperor, so you should be respectful. Moreover, you took care of Fei Yong in the Forgotten Continent. I should also thank you. Qin Yuan smiled. No, the person who should be thanking you is me. If it weren't for you silently protecting the great Qin all these years, let alone Fei Yong, the empire left behind by the previous emperor would have fallen into the hands of others. The mysterious lady said. Looking at how polite the two of them were, Qin Fei Yong was speechless. Uncle Yuan, great-grandmother, can you stop flattering me? The inner demons chimed in. Yeah, we're a family. Is there a need for that? Ugh. Qin Yuan and the mysterious madam were dumbfounded, after which they exchanged glances. The mysterious madam laughed. I didn't expect that we would be scolded by two little brats. However, they are right. We are all family. Being polite would only make us seem distant. Madam is right. Qin Yuan nodded and smiled. Then, he looked at Qin Fei Yong and said, You guys chat first. I'll go and repair the altar. All right. Qin Fei Yong nodded. Whoosh. Qin Yuan flickered and instantly vanished without a trace. Old Qin sighed and shook his head. This old fellow really concealed his strength deeply. You know Uncle Yuan? Qin Fei Yong looked at old man Qin suspiciously. Isn't that obvious? When Emperor Qian was still on the throne, I was already a peak 9-star combat emperor. Of course I know Qin Yuan. Old man Qin rolled his eyes at Qin Fei Yong. Qin Fei Yong nodded and asked curiously, Then what kind of person was Uncle Yuan back then? At that time, he was already a false god. But in my impression, he didn't have any airs of a false god. He was a very low-key person. Usually, when he was by Emperor Qin's side, it was rare to see him say a word. However, I didn't expect him to be the guardian of this continent. Old man Qin shook his head and smiled. The mysterious madam said, That's the saying, you can't judge a book by its cover. Yeah. Speaking of which, it must have been hard for him to silently protect the great Qin all these years. Old man Qin sighed. It wasn't just hard. Qin Fei Yong sighed. He turned around and looked at Zhao Tailai and the other two, as well as the blood Kirin. I don't care if you guys smile in front of me, but you must respect Uncle Yuan. You must respect him from the bottom of your heart, not because of his power. Understood. The 3 people and 2 beasts nodded. The mysterious madam looked at the 3 people and 2 beasts and asked, Fei Yong, why are you suddenly so serious? Great-grandmother, there are many things you don't know. Uncle Yuan has sacrificed so much for the great Qin. Qin Fei Yong sighed. What do you mean? Everyone looked at him curiously. We talked a lot in Iron Bowl Town. Qin Fei Yong briefly explained Qin Yuan's situation. I see. He really is a great old man. After hearing this, everyone's hearts were filled with admiration. After a while, Uncle Yuan appeared again. He looked at everyone and smiled. The teleportation altar has been repaired. Yishu asked, What about the one to the Forgotten Continent? Qin Yuan nodded and smiled. It has been repaired. We can go back at any time. Thank you, Yishu said gratefully. He turned to the mysterious madam and said, Miss, let's go back. Okay. The mysterious madam nodded. She looked at Qin Fei Yong and the inner demons and said, Let's go back to the Forgotten Continent. When the situation stabilizes, we will go to the capital and visit your father. Do you need me to ask old Zhao and the others to help you? Qin Fei Yong asked. That's not necessary. Mu Tianyang and Mu Tianjun are dead. No one can threaten us now. As for the snow python and Dongjingyang, I believe they won't do anything to us. The mysterious madam said. Qin Yuan said, I have already warned the snow python and Dongjingyang. They won't do anything stupid. Yishu looked at Qin Yuan and bowed. Brother Qin Yuan, thank you so much. Now the Forgotten Continent has nothing to worry about. It's nothing. You're welcome. Qin Yuan waved his hand and smiled. To Qin Yuan, this was a piece of cake. However, to the mysterious madam, Yishu, and the others, this was great news. The mysterious madam looked at Qin Yuan gratefully. Then, she looked at Qin Fei Yong and smiled. Then we'll be leaving first. You should have a good rest after you go back. Okay. Qin Fei Yong nodded. You too. Don't think about anything for now. Have a good rest. The mysterious madam patted the inner demon's shoulder and said with a smile. Then, she led Yishu and the monkey-faced old man downwards. The secret chamber below had been repaired. The teleportation altar had also been repaired. After the mysterious madam and the other three left, Qin Feiyong and the others also bid farewell to Qin Yuan. They opened the fake space-time gate and walked in one after another. Soon, only Qin Yuan was left here. After watching the space-time gate disappear, Qin Yuan took out 4 drops of blood. After a long silence, he looked up at the sky and sighed. Should I believe Dong Zhengyang? Imperial Palace. A day and a night passed. Everyone was still gathered in the throne room. The entire throne room was shrouded in a sadness that couldn't be dispersed. Sigh. Another day and night has passed, and there's still no news from them. It seems that they really died together with the demon ancestor. Emperor Hong sighed and broke the silence. The emperor also looked haggard. He waved his hand weakly and said, "The dead can't be revived. There's no use for us to be sad here. Let's disperse." The civil and military officials looked at each other and silently turned to leave. Lu Zheng painfully closed his eyes. 2 drops of tears quietly fell. Then, he opened a teleportation gate. Father, great-grandfather, who said we're dead? But at this moment, a faint laughter sounded outside the palace. This voice, everyone's gaze trembled. They hurriedly looked at the gate. A group of people filed in and entered everyone's line of sight. The leader was Qin Feiyong and the inner demons. Feiyong, old Qin, am I dreaming? The emperor slowly got up. Looking at Qin Feiyong and the others, he rubbed his eyes hard. Father, a living person is standing in front of you. How can it be a dream? Qin Feiyong said with a smile. It's not a dream. You're all still alive. The emperor was ecstatic. He quickly walked in front of Qin Feiyong and looked at the familiar face in front of him with tears in his eyes. Emperor Hong, Qin Shang, and the other 2, as well as the civil and military officials of the court, were also crying tears of joy. Qin Feiyong lowered his head and said, "I'm sorry, father, I've made you worry." Then he looked at Emperor Hong, Lu Zheng, Qin Shang, and the civil and military officials and said, "This is my fault. I didn't pass on the good news to you immediately." Silly child, what are you talking about? It's good that you came back alive. Emperor Hong scolded with a smile. Yes. As long as you can come back alive, it's more important than anything. The emperor grabbed Qin Feiyong's hand, his whole body trembling. He was afraid that in the next moment, Qin Feiyong would disappear in front of him. Father, looking at the emperor's haggard face, Qin Feiyong couldn't help but feel sad. He quickly changed the topic and said with a smile, "Father, you have more than one son now?" At the same time, he pushed the inner demons in front of the emperor. The inner demons' expression froze, and they were at a loss. Yes. I have more than one son now. Only then did the emperor realize that he had ignored the existence of the inner demons. He quickly grabbed the inner demon's hand and said with a smile, "Child, it's been hard on you." This matter was too sudden. The inner demons really didn't know how to deal with it. Did you see that? No matter how powerful a person is, there will be times when they don't know what to do. Zhao Tailai chuckled. Tang Hai, Old Qin, Chui Li, and the Blood Kirin looked at the inner demons mockingly. Qin Feiyong said helplessly, "This is your fault. We should be encouraging him." "Don't worry. The inner demons are very adaptable. He doesn't need our encouragement." The golden leopard laughed. "Can't you say this behind my back? Do you think I won't kill you right now?" The inner demons looked at them angrily and raised his eyebrows. The Blood Kirin coughed and said, "Master inner demons, you have a father now. You should be a filial child." The inner demons' eyes widened in anger. Qin Feiyong smiled helplessly. He looked at the inner demons and said, Okay. Don't you know their personalities? Do you have to be angry with them? I'll deal with you later." The inner demons looked at the Blood Kirin and took a deep breath. He looked at the emperor and bowed. "Greetings, father." Good. The emperor nodded and grabbed the inner demons and Qin Feiyong's hands. He looked happy and proud. He smiled and said, "You are my pride." Chapter 1875. Hearing the emperor's words, Qin Feiyong and the inner demons looked at each other and scratched their heads in embarrassment. Emperor Hong stepped forward and said with a smile, "Feiyong, where are your mother, grandfather, and your grandfather?" "Yeah, why don't I see them?" The emperor also asked. "Are they all in the castle? Call them out." Lu Zheng also walked up and said with a smile. Hearing the three of them, Qin Feiyong and the others looked at each other and lowered their heads in silence. "What's wrong?" The emperor and Emperor Hong looked at everyone suspiciously. Lu Zheng glanced at Qin Feiyong and the others, and an uneasy premonition immediately rose in his heart. Plop. Suddenly, Qin Feiyong and the inner demons knelt on the ground. "What are you doing?" The emperor and Emperor Hong hurriedly reached out, wanting to help the two up. "Father, great-grandfather, we were incompetent and couldn't protect Mother and the others." Qin Feiyong lowered his head and said, "In this battle, only a few of us came back alive." The inner demon said, "What?" Emperor Hong's eyes trembled. The emperor's body also shook violently, and he almost fainted. The three of them and the civil and military officials were also in an uproar. "Only a few of you came back alive? What about Hong-er?" Lu Zheng also looked at Qin Feiyong and the others with a dull face and asked, "Lu Hong has also died in battle." Qin Feiyong sighed. "You bastard." Lu Zheng suddenly went crazy, stepped forward and grabbed Qin Feiyong's clothes, roaring, "Didn't you say that you would protect her well?" "I'm sorry," Qin Feiyong whispered. "What's the use of being sorry?" Lu Zheng roared, raised his fist, and punched Qin Feiyong's face. Qin Feiyong did not resist. But just as Lu Zheng's fist was about to land on Qin Feiyong's face, he suddenly stopped. Qin Feiyong raised his head and looked at Lu Zheng suspiciously. He saw that Lu Zheng's eyes were closed and his expression was full of pain. After a long time, Lu Zheng let go of Qin Feiyong and lowered his arms. He opened his eyes and looked at Qin Feiyong. "I didn't even participate in the battle. What right do I have to scold you?" "Cousin," Qin Feiyong murmured. "All right, it was my fault just now. I was impulsive and almost beat you up. It's also because I'm useless. I can't even protect the woman I love. I'm living in such a sorry state." Lu Zheng shook his head. Qin Feiyong looked at Lu Zheng worriedly and comforted him. "Cousin, it's not your fault. Don't worry about me. I'm fine." Lu Zheng squeezed out a smile. "Feiyong, since you're still alive, why can't I contact you? And Lu Zheng and I have been to the Demon Dragon Island, but we didn't see you," Emperor Hong said. After the demon ancestor and Snow were defeated, they fled to the Forgotten Continent. "We also killed our way to the Forgotten Continent and killed Mu Tianyang and Mu Tianjun on the way," Qin Feiyong said. "What? Even Mu Tianyang and Mu Tianjun have been killed?" Emperor Hong, the emperor, and the civil and military officials all looked at each other. "That's right. The battle is over," Qin Feiyong said. Emperor Hong asked, "What about the Mermaid Clan?" Qin Feiyong said with a smile, "The Mermaid Clan has also been killed by us." "Great. Now our great Qin is finally at peace." Emperor Hong laughed. Yes, the emperor was also very excited. He looked at Qin Feiyong and the inner demons and said, "You are not only the pride of your father, but the pride of the entire great Qin. And you?" The emperor looked at Old Man Qin, Zhao Tai and the Blood Kirin, bowed and said, "Thank you. Please accept my bow." "Your Majesty, you can't do that." Old Man Qin hurriedly said, "No, this bow is what you deserve. Without you, the fate of our great Qin is unimaginable." After the emperor finished speaking, he bowed deeply to everyone. The three of them looked at each other, then at Zhao Tai and the others and said, "Please accept our bow." "And us." The civil and military officials also bowed. Lu Zheng looked at everyone, then looked at Qin Feiyong and said with a smile, "Well done. I'll go back now and tell the good news to Second Grandpa and the others." Qin Feiyong asked, "Are you really okay?" "Don't worry. Your cousin is not that weak. Plus, I know what you're thinking. Hong-er won't die." Lu Zheng smiled, then opened the portal and left. The emperor smiled and said, Lu Zhang, this kid, really likes Lu Hong. Yes. Qin Feiyang nodded. The emperor's face became serious. He looked at Qin Feiyang and said, But Feiyang, I still won't allow you to open the door of rebirth. And I believe that your mother won't allow you to do so either. Qin Feiyang was silent for a while, then smiled and said, Father, it's rare that we won a battle. Let's not talk about this first. The emperor frowned, then turned around and stepped onto the dragon throne. He looked at the civil and military officials and shouted, Write the decree. Not long after, a eunuch came out from behind with a brush, ink, paper, and an inkstone. He stood respectfully behind the emperor. Announce it to the world. First, restore Qin Feiyang's status as a prince, and crown Qin Feiyang as the crown prince of the Great Qin. Second, restore Lu Qiuyu's position as the empress. Third, confer Elder Qin the title of the Great Qin State Preceptor. Fourth, Zhao Tailai, Cui Li, and Tang Hai are conferred as the great generals of the nation. Fifth, the Blood Qilin and the Golden Divine Leopard are conferred as the divine beasts of the Great Qin. Sixth, reveal the evil deeds of the demon ancestor. Seventh, pay respects to the souls of the dead in battle. The entire throne room was filled with the emperor's loud voice. The eunuch beside him wrote at a fast speed. The civil and military officials returned to the imperial court and listened quietly. Qin Feiyang's face was already covered in tears. It was not for restoring his status as a prince, nor was it for the title of crown prince. He was only happy for his mother. Over the years, his mother had suffered too much. He had always hated himself for being useless and unable to protect his mother. So, he worked hard to let his mother regain the respect she deserved. Now, he finally did it. His biggest goal in returning to the imperial capital this time was to clear his mother's name. Since he had waited for this moment, he could leave without regrets. Boom! Qin Feiyang waved his hand, and the space-time gate awakened. The emperor and Emperor Hong were stunned and hurriedly called out, Feiyang, where are you going? I'm going to do what I should do. The position of crown prince should be left to my younger brother. Qin Feiyang smiled at the two of them and turned to enter the space-time gate without hesitation. Great-grandfather, father, you know what I think. Don't force yourself. The inner demons looked at the two of them with a smile and followed them into the space-time gate. Tang Hai and the other two looked at each other. Zhao Tailai cupped his hands and said, Your Majesty, we don't need any great generals of the nation, because we will always follow in the footsteps of the young master. After saying that, the three of them also entered the space-time gate. And us, what divine beast of the nation, we don't care at all. In the future, as long as you love the people as your children, don't let our efforts go to waste. Seeing this, the Blood Qilin and the Golden Divine Leopard also said something to the emperor and quickly chased after Qin Feiyang and the others. Boom! Soon, the space-time gate dissipated. In the imperial court, Qin Shang and the other two, as well as the civil and military officials, all looked at each other. They left just like that? The emperor was also stunned. He looked at Emperor Hong and said, Great-grandfather, this? Emperor Hong's veins bulged as he said angrily, What a group of annoying fellows. This old man will chase them back. Old Qin stopped Emperor Hong and shook his head. Emperor Hong, don't go. Emperor Hong said angrily, Old Qin, why even you? Feiyang and the others are not here. Why force it? Moreover, do you think that if you chase after them, they will change their minds? Old Qin shook his head. But, Emperor Hong frowned. Enough, don't force it. Old man Qin waved his hand and raised his head to look at the emperor. He smiled and said, Your Majesty, I can understand your feelings, but I understand Qin Feiyang's feelings even more. Don't force these things onto him. The emperor lowered his head and fell silent. Fine, let them be. Emperor Hong sighed deeply and said. The emperor looked at Emperor Hong and said, Then this imperial edict. The imperial edict can be changed. Actually, Feiyang just wants to get everyone's recognition and clear his mother's name. Old Qin said, All right. The emperor nodded helplessly and looked at Old Qin. Then you definitely can't run away from the position of state preceptor. Old Qin smiled and said, Okay, okay. This old man will reluctantly be the state preceptor of Great Qin. Qin Feiyong and the others had already run away. If even he ran away, wouldn't the emperor be angered to death? Reluctantly? The emperor was speechless. Spirit State. Butterfly Valley. Qin Feiyong looked at the inner demons and the others and said speechlessly, Why did you guys run here too? What? As soon as the battle is over, you want to abandon us? Zhao Tailai was dissatisfied. You know I didn't mean that. Whether it's the national general or the guardian divine beast, this is the honor you deserve, Qin Feiyong said. We are the dignified god of war. Why would we care about this? The golden divine leopard disdained. Qin Feiyong, look, I have made a great contribution this time. This true god body and the matter of guarding the great Qin. Can you? The blood Kirin looked at Qin Feiyong nervously. Back then, Qin Feiyong had said that he wanted it to oversee the great Qin Empire and protect the little prince. Qin Feiyong looked at the blood Kirin and then at Zhao Tailai and the others. He smiled and said, Are you willing to accept it as your companion? The blood Kirin immediately looked at Zhao Tailai and the others. Zhao Tailai and the others looked at each other and sized up the blood Kirin. They were silent. Old Zhao, Old Tang, Chuili, Junior Leopard, whether you are a human or a beast, you have to have a conscience. Ask yourselves, how have I treated you? The blood Kirin said anxiously. Not much. Zhao Tailai pouted. Indeed. Tang Hai, Chuili, and the golden divine leopard nodded. You. The blood Kirin stared at them angrily. Haha. Zhao Tailai suddenly laughed and said, I was just teasing you. Did you really take it seriously? Come on, welcome to the team. Zhao Tailai opened his arms and hugged the blood Kirin. The blood Kirin was shocked. It excitedly jumped on Zhao Tailai and stuck out its red tongue, covering Zhao Tailai's face with saliva. Thank you. Thank you so much. The blood Kirin looked at the three people and the beast gratefully and smiled. Qin Feiyong and the inner demons looked at each other and smiled. They looked around, but they didn't see Uncle Yuan. It seemed that he had left. Shua. But suddenly, an old figure appeared. It was Yishu. Genius memorized this address in 1 second. Mobile reading website, M. Chapter 1876. Yishu, Qin Feiyong, and the inner demons were taken aback. The blood Kirin, the golden leopard, and Zhao Tailai all looked at Yishu. Old man Yi, you're missing us already? The blood Kirin was in a good mood. I'm not in the mood to play around with you. Yishu glanced at it, then walked over to Qin Feiyong and the inner demons. He said in a low voice, Guys, something strange has happened on the Forgotten Continent. What is it? Qin Feiyong and the inner demons looked at each other suspiciously. When we returned to the glacier forest, we planned to return to the central divine kingdom. But suddenly, we sensed that the glacier forest was covered by an invisible power. And we also discovered that this power is everywhere. It can even enter our bodies and steal our blood and life force. Yishu said, Everywhere? Steal blood and life force? Qin Feiyong and the others were shocked. How could this be the same as when Zhuge Mingyang was reborn? Wait, the blood Kirin suddenly said, What is it? Everyone turned to look at it. The blood Kirin paused for a moment, then looked at the inner demons and asked, Did the master, Zhuge Shenfeng, and the imperial teacher fall out of the demon tower? Yes. The inner demons nodded. Oh no. The blood Kirin's eyes dimmed. Zhao Tailai said, Don't be so surprised. Tell us what you know. The blood Kirin said, The inheritance of the immortal demon art is inside the demon tower. Qin Feiyong's pupil shrank as he said, You're saying that Chief Pagoda Master and the others received the inheritance of the undying demon technique? That must be it. Because of the continuous battles, I forgot about it. The Master and the others hate you to the core. I don't think the Demon Alpha would let go of this opportunity, the blood Kirin said. Yishu nodded. So, the Imperial Teacher and the others are now reviving? The blood Kirin nodded. Chuili was puzzled. Since the immortal demon technique is so powerful, why didn't you and Sima Yuan cultivate it? Because cultivating the undying demon art has a fatal side effect. If you can't cultivate it, you can only rely on being killed to break through. Furthermore, cultivating the undying demon art requires an extremely strong hatred. As for me, Sima Yuan and the others, although we were enemies at that time, it is not to the extent that we hated you. As for Linny, although she hated you all greatly after losing her memories, the demon ancestor was unwilling to let her cultivate the undying demon technique because she had awakened the eyes of oblivion. The Blood Kirin explained. The inner demons looked at Qin Feiyong and said, "So it's just as we thought? You've already guessed?" The Blood Kirin was shocked. Qin Feiyong said, "We've thought of that before, but we haven't been able to confirm it." The Blood Kirin glanced at everyone and said in a deep voice, "Everyone, this matter must not be taken lightly." The Imperial Teacher had already broken through to the Warlord realm at the Miracle Site. If he succeeds in reviving this time, he will be a lesser-tier warlord. Yishu looked at Qin Feiyong and said, "Feiyong, the Blood Kirin is right. We must think of a way to stop them from reviving." Qin Feiyong's eyes flashed coldly, and he said, "There's no time to lose. Let's go to the glacier forest immediately." Everyone nodded. Whoosh! Immediately, the group plunged into the ground below. Glacier forest. At this moment, the mysterious madam, the monkey-faced old man, and the aquiline-nosed old man stood in the void, looking down with gloomy expressions. Whoosh! After a while, Yishu led Qin Feiyong and the others to the three. The mysterious madam apologized. "Feiyong, I wanted you to have a good rest, but now I have to trouble you again. I'm really sorry." "Why are you saying this?" Qin Feiyong smiled and said, "Old man, ye already knows about the situation. We guess that Zhuge Shunfeng, the chief tower master, has cultivated the immortal demon technique." "Bastard!" The mysterious madam cursed. Qin Feiyong asked, "What's the situation now?" "This force has already entered the second area. Fortunately, the young lady killed all the creatures in the first and second areas back then. Not many creatures are left now. Otherwise, they might have been revived." The monkey-faced old man and the other two said. Qin Feiyong said, "It's still under control." The mysterious madam asked, "Feiyong, do you have a way to get rid of them?" "Not before. But now, after seeing Zhuge Mingyang revive again and again, I've figured out the trick," Qin Feiyong said. "Tell me," the mysterious madam urged. "The immortal demon technique's revival process is very long and requires a lot of qi. I think they have almost condensed some flesh now. As long as we find this flesh and crush it again, we should be able to get rid of them," Qin Feiyong said. The method that Qin Feiyong spoke of is feasible. However, the people that will be doing it later cannot be you all. The Blood Kirin looked at Qin Feiyong and the inner demons and said, "What? Don't tell me that now that we've shattered their flesh, they'll be reborn?" The inner demons said, "Yes. If you do it, no matter how many times you kill them, they will revive again. That's why the immortal demon technique is so overbearing." The Blood Kirin said, "Phew." Qin Feiyong exhaled and released his divine will, covering the ground below. With his current cultivation base, not to mention flesh and blood, even if there was only a weak aura, he could easily find the source. He searched for the invisible force and found the source in less than 10 breaths. Shua. Qin Feiyong stepped forward and landed in front of a wide crack. The source was inside this crack. Qin Feiyong said, "Blood Kirin, go down and look for it." "Okay." The Blood Kirin's body quickly shrank until it was about half a meter long. It flew into the crack like lightning. After a while, the Blood Kirin flew out of the crack. There were 3 pieces of flesh the size of a grain of rice next to it. The invisible force came from these 3 pieces of flesh. Moreover, from that weak aura, he could still clearly distinguish who was who. Yishu sighed. "Fortunately, we came back early. Otherwise, I don't know what would have happened to the Forgotten Continent if they had successfully revived." Qin Feiyong said, "Blood Kirin, crush it." "Okay." The Blood Kirin grinned. The inner demons suddenly thought of something and stopped the Blood Kirin. "Wait, what?" Everyone looked at him suspiciously. The inner demons looked at Qin Feiyong and laughed. "Why don't we keep them alive?" Keep them alive? Qin Feiyong was stunned. Yes. Don't you want to cultivate the little prince? In my opinion, these three people are the best stepping stones. The inner demon said. Good idea. Zhao Tailai's eyes lit up. He looked at Qin Feiyong and said, the little prince will inherit the throne sooner or later. If he doesn't have some courage and responsibility, the great Qin won't be able to go far in the future. I agree. After all the enemies have been eliminated by us. The future of the great Qin will definitely enter an unprecedented prosperity and peace. In such an environment, no matter how Emperor Hong and the others cultivate the little prince, it will probably be difficult to train him to have a temperament like yours, Chueli said. Although that's true, aren't we going in the opposite direction by doing this? After all, you heard Xuesong's last words with your own ears. Let me create a world of true peace. Qin Feiyong said. True peace is easier said than done. There's a very good saying. Nothing in the world is eternal. Even if we eliminate all the enemies now and let the great Qin enter an unprecedented prosperity, there will be a day in the future when there will be changes. What you should do is let the descendants of the great Qin become stronger and stronger, and let every emperor of the future have a heart that loves the people. Only in this way can the great Qin go further. Tang Hai sighed. As the Lord of the Nether Hall, he had a deep understanding of these principles. Qin Feiyong looked at everyone and nodded. Very well then. Leave Zhuge Shenfeng and the Chief Tower Master behind, but kill the Imperial Tutor. After all, the Imperial Tutor has been a disaster for an era. If he continues to live, even the heavens will not tolerate it. The blood Qilin's claw had turned the Imperial Tutor's flesh into ashes. This also meant that the Imperial Tutor had become history. The mysterious madam said, your idea is very good, but there's a big problem now. Where do you want to seal Zhuge Shenfeng and the Chief Tower Master? Yes, they are now in a state of resurrection. The power that absorbs blood and miracles is everywhere. I'm afraid that even if we seal them, we won't be able to seal this power. Yi Shu said, that's easy. Find Uncle Yuan or the Snow Python. With their strength, it will be easy to seal Zhuge Shenfeng and the Chief Tower Master. Qin Feiyong smiled. No. Don't find the Snow Python. If she secretly does something, then the two continents will be in chaos again. Let's find Uncle Yuan. We trust him. The inner demon said. Qin Feiyong nodded. Am I so weak in your eyes? Before the inner demons finished speaking, a cold snort suddenly sounded. Swoosh. Immediately after, the snow python appeared in the void next to them. Zhao Tailai and the others immediately became vigilant. The snow python smiled disdainfully and looked directly at the inner demons. Do you remember what I said? When the slaughter domain is over, I will let you know the consequences of angering me. I'm standing right here. Do you dare to kill me? The inner demons laughed proudly. Are you still provoking me? The snow python's eyes were filled with killing intent. You have to think carefully. King Long was killed. You have been punished by the golden small beast by turning your body into a snow python. If you continue to kill the innocent, it may directly kill you. Qin Feiyong was not afraid and looked at the snow python mockingly. The snow python's eyes suddenly showed a trace of anger. Qin Yuan, you old bastard, how dare you tell them all this? Before it finished speaking, Qin Yuan appeared out of thin air and said with a smile, I'm just telling the truth. Why are you so angry? Bastard, it's all your fault. The snow python roared. It's been so many years. Why are you still holding a grudge? Qin Yuan shook his head and sighed. He looked at Qin Feiyong and said, give their flesh and blood to me. I will seal them in the sea of reincarnation in the endless sea. Thank you, Uncle Yuan. Qin Feiyong said with a smile. The endless sea? But the mysterious lady, Yi Shu, and the other two were stunned. Genius remembered this site's address in a second. Top mobile version website, M. Chapter 1877. The endless ocean wasn't in the forgotten continent? What did that mean? Qin Yuan smiled and said, Zhuge Shenfeng is sealed in the reincarnation ocean. The Chief Tower Master is sealed in the endless ocean. Don't Don't, don't, Lord Guardian. We don't care what the Great Qin does, but you can't harm the Forgotten Continent. The monkey-faced old man hurriedly said. The Chief Tower Master is one of your people, so it's reasonable for him to be sealed in the endless ocean. Qin Yuan said. No, no, no. These years, the Forgotten Continent has been in a mess because of the Chief Tower Master. We can't let this kind of person stay in the Forgotten Continent. The monkey-faced old man shook his head. Yishu and the hook-nosed old man also expressed their opinions. They could either kill the Chief Tower Master directly or seal him in the Great Qin. The Forgotten Continent would not accept this. Qin Yuan looked at the three of them, then looked at the mysterious lady and asked with a smile, "What do you think?" This, the mysterious lady hesitated. Seeing this, the monkey-faced old man hurriedly said, "Miss, this is not a small matter. You must think carefully." The mysterious lady pondered for a while, then looked at the monkey-faced old man and said, "Actually, doing this can also be a training for the disciples of the Chief Tower. As expected of the Qin Emperor's wife, you have foresight." Qin Yuan chuckled and said. The old hand grabbed at the air, and Zhuge Shenfeng and the Chief Tower Master's flesh immediately flew into the air and landed in his palm. "Miss, you're muddle-headed." The monkey-faced old man sighed. Wasn't this leaving a disaster for the Forgotten Continent? Without pressure, there is no motivation. I believe that the disciples of the Chief Tower will be able to solve all of this. The mysterious lady smiled and said. Seeing that the mysterious lady had made up her mind, the monkey-faced old man could only sigh helplessly. "White Dragon, can you stop bullying them? I'm really tired from running around like this." Qin Yuan looked at the snow python and said helplessly. The snow python said angrily, "Which eye of yours saw me bullying them? If that's the case, why don't you accompany me to the endless ocean? After all, the Forgotten Continent is your territory. I can't make decisions without permission." Qin Yuan smiled. "You still know that this is my territory? You want to seal the Chief Pagoda Master in the endless ocean? Did you ask me first?" The snow python said angrily. "Aren't I discussing this with you?" Qin Yuan chuckled. "You've already made up your mind. How is this a discussion?" The more the snow python spoke, the angrier it became. All right, don't be so petty. Actually, the reason why I'm here is because there are some things that I'd like to consult you about," Qin Yuan said. The snow python frowned and glanced at Qin Feiyang and the others before leaving with Qin Yuan. "Feiyang, what's the deal with the winged dragon you mentioned earlier? Also, why did Qin Yuan call the snow python a white dragon?" After Qin Feiyang and the snow python left, the mysterious lady looked suspiciously at Qin Feiyang and asked, "Yinglong is the predecessor of Dongzhongyang. The white dragon is the true body of the snow python," Qin Feiyang said. "What? You mean both of them are Shenlong?" The mysterious lady was surprised. Qin Feiyang nodded. Everyone looked at each other. This was too unexpected. Qin Feiyang said with a smile, "The state preceptor and the other two have been dealt with. You guys should go back now." "What about you?" the mysterious lady asked. Qin Feiyang said, "I want to walk around." The mysterious lady smiled and said, "All right then. When you have time, come to the Central Divine Kingdom to play." Qin Feiyang nodded. The mysterious lady opened a portal and looked at Yishu and the others. "Let's go." "Wait a minute." The monkey-faced old man suddenly thought of something. He looked at Qin Feiyang and said with a flattering smile, "Little guy, there's something we need to discuss." Qin Feiyang said with a smile, "Senior, please go ahead." "That," the monkey-faced old man stammered as if there was something difficult and he was too embarrassed to speak. "You old man." The mysterious lady glared at the monkey-faced old man and said, "Feiyang. He wants to ask you if you can return that divine bow to him." "Divine bow?" Qin Feiyang was surprised. "Is it this one?" The golden leopard took out a divine bow. Yes. The monkey-faced old man nodded. "That won't do. This divine bow has fought with this emperor for so long. This emperor has developed a deep affection for it." The golden leopard held the divine bow and guarded against the monkey-faced old man like he was guarding against a thief. The monkey-faced old man's expression immediately shrank. Qin Feiyang shook his head and smiled. He looked at the golden leopard and said, "Give it to him. Young master, this." The golden leopard was extremely anxious. Zhao Tailai looked at it with disdain, saying, "Are you stupid? Following the young master, you don't have to worry about not having a divine artifact." The golden leopard was stunned, then chuckled. "That's true. Old man, here you go." Saying so, he threw the divine bow to the monkey-faced old man. "Thank you." The monkey-faced old man was ecstatic and thanked him repeatedly. "Then we'll be going." The mysterious lady looked at Qin Feiyang and said, "Oh right. If Pei Yi, Li He, and Li Yin are still alive, take good care of them in the future." Qin Feiyang said, "Okay." The mysterious lady nodded and then left with Yi Shu and the others. Zhao Tailai asked, "Young master, where are we going next? You guys fought with me as soon as you came out of the divine sight. Now that the battle is over, you guys can go to the 2 continents and have a good time." Qin Feiyang said with a smile. Tang Hai said, "That's what I was thinking." "Then go. When you're tired, come to the Spirit State's Iron Bull Town to find me." "Oh right, Blood Kirin." When we entered the divine site, I gave the old man an ancient tower. "Do you know who has it?" Qin Feiyang asked. The Blood Kirin thought for a moment and said, "Are you talking about the space divine item in the old man's hands?" Qin Feiyang nodded. The Blood Kirin said, "When the demon ancestor went into seclusion to fuse with the divine body, he seemed to have given it to Sima Kuan." Sima Kuan. Qin Feiyang pondered for a while, then looked at Tang Hai and the others. "I remember that we didn't destroy Sima Kuan's godbody. When you go out to play, go to the Sea of Reincarnation. You must find that ancient pagoda." "Is there anything in it?" Zhao Tailai asked. "I buried Ren Wushuang's father in that ancient tower. Since we're going to open the gate of reincarnation, we'll revive him along with it." Qin Feiyang said. "I see." Zhao Tailai nodded and said, "If that's the case, let's go to the Sea of Reincarnation first so that Sima Kuan's divine body won't be damaged by the sea beasts." Sima Kuan is a low-level war god. Those sea beasts can't do anything to his divine body. But we can find him first. Qin Feiyang smiled. "Then let's go." Qin Feiyang waved his hand and led the group back to the spiritual state. Then, they parted ways. Tang Hai and the other 2 went to the imperial capital with the golden leopard and went to the Sea of Reincarnation. Qin Feiyang, on the other hand, opened a teleportation door and descended on top of a large mountain. The mountain was devastated. It had also been destroyed by the mermaid clan. "What is this place?" The Blood Kirin asked curiously. Qin Feiyang said, "This is the Black Bear Mountain. There used to be a Black Bear King here who saved my life. But in the end, he and his children were killed by evil people. I buried them here with my own hands." "You want to revive them too?" the Blood Kirin asked. "Since there's a chance, I'll definitely revive them together. But so many years have passed, and the Mermaid Clan has destroyed them. I don't know if their bodies are still there." Qin Feiyang said and released his immortal will to the mountain below. Soon, a smile appeared on his face. As he waved his hand, the ground below cracked and 2 rotten skulls, one big and one small, broke out of the ground. "Long time no see, old friend." Qin Feiyang looked at the big skull and murmured with a smile. Although the Black Bear King had been dead for many years, with Qin Feiyang's current cultivation, he could tell that these were the remains of the Black Bear King and his son. The Blood Kirin sighed. "You even remember such a small figure. You are indeed a person who values friendship." "How can I forget your kindness?" Qin Feiyang whispered. "Back then, he was poisoned. Even the antidote pill couldn't cure him, and he almost died. In the end, the Black Bear King used the lifeblood pill to change his blood and saved his life. And the Black Bear King's death was also because of him. So, he had always felt guilty about the Black Bear King's death. At the same time, the death of an old man was also a pain in his heart. This old man was Feng Ling Heir's grandfather, Feng Cheng. Feng Cheng and the Black Bear King died at the same time. But Feng Cheng wasn't buried here. Back then, he gave Feng Cheng's body to Luo Xiong. Luo Xiong was the hall master of the Pill Hall in Black Bear City. So, Feng Cheng should be buried in the Pill Hall Cemetery in Black Bear City. But now, Black Bear City had been destroyed by the Merfolk clan. Corpses were everywhere. It wasn't easy to find where Feng Cheng was buried. However, no matter what, he had to find Feng Cheng's remains. After half a day of searching in Black Bear City, he finally found a piece of Feng Cheng's remains. Then, he went to Pan County. He went to Pan County for Fatso. Fatso had followed him for so many years. Even if he didn't contribute, he had worked hard. So, he also wanted to revive Fatso's parents and family. Back then, Situ Hai had brought him to the Situ family cemetery. But when Qin Feiyang arrived at the cemetery, he didn't find a single bone. After all, they had been dead for too long. Their bones had been lost over time and turned into a pile of yellow soil. This made him feel rather regretful. But there was nothing he could do. Without bones, he couldn't be revived. As for the others, for example, Lu Yun, Ji Shui, Elder Wan, Li Ji, and so on. These people had all taken good care of him, and they had all died in this disaster. So, he had already collected everyone's blood. After doing all this, Qin Feiyang returned to Iron Bull Town. There were still many bones buried under Iron Bull Town. Among them was Zhao Shuang, Er's grandfather, and he had deep feelings for Iron Bull Town, so he took away all the bones. Finally, Qin Feiyang brought the inner demons and the blood Kirin back to the place where he used to live. This place had also been destroyed by the Merfolk clan. It was beyond recognition. Genius remembered the address of this site in 1 second. Mobile version of reading website, M. Chapter 1878. Looking at the unrecognizable scene, Qin Feiyang's expression was extremely melancholic. The inner demons comforted him. It's all in the past. Don't be sad. Qin Feiyang nodded and smiled. I still prefer this place. The inner demon said, then you can stay here and study the Gate of Rebirth. The Gate of Rebirth had to be fully comprehended to be able to revive billions of lives. You're not going to stop me? Qin Feiyang looked at the inner demons in surprise. Would it work if I stopped you? But I still want to say something. If you open the Gate of Rebirth now, at most, you will completely lose your talent for cultivation and can live for a few more decades. However, if you are to comprehend the Gate of Reincarnation to perfection, you will most definitely lose your life. The inner demons said, I know, but if I open the Gate of Rebirth now, I can't revive everyone. What's the point of doing that? No, since I've made up my mind to open the Gate of Rebirth, I naturally have to revive everyone. Qin Feiyang smiled. Up to you. The inner demon sighed helplessly. Qin Feiyang said, then help me restore this place to how it was before. The inner demons nodded and turned to the blood Kirin. Come and help. The blood Kirin looked at Qin Feiyang and sighed inwardly. Then, it followed the inner demons and got busy. It also didn't want Qin Feiyang to die. But even the inner demons couldn't persuade him, let alone the blood Kirin. Qin Feiyang entered Ling Yunfei's space treasure. Everything was the same as before. Under an old tree, a giant wolf lay on the ground, exuding an ethereal aura. It was the white-eyed wolf. Because it had been comprehending the profound meaning of becoming a god, it had avoided this disaster. Qin Feiyang observed silently for a while. He did not disturb the white-eyed wolf and went to visit the blood-devouring bees before entering the black tortoise world. Above the Devil's Land, 2 blood seas were suspended. A sea of blood, precisely the blood of the creatures of the 9 great provinces. The other sea of blood was the blood of the living beings of the black tortoise realm, deliberately left behind by the inner demons. Young master, the 9 divine beasts guarding the herb field sensed Qin Feiyang's aura and flew up one after another, landing behind Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang waved his hand, and the mountain of corpses and the sea of blood in the castle appeared. Among them were his mother, grandfather, the little prince, old master Ren Wushuang, Yinwei, and so on. Qin Feiyang looked at the 9 beast emperors and reminded them, you must protect the blood and corpses well. Yes. The 9 beast emperors nodded. Qin Feiyang flashed again and landed in the sky above the desert. In the storm below, a blurry figure stood in the void, constantly devouring the undead around it. That figure was the female undead. Qin Feiyang said, "Haven't you condensed to flesh and blood yet?" The undead raised her head and looked at Qin Feiyang, smiling. "When I devour all the undead here, I should be able to condense a flesh and blood. Then you continue." Qin Feiyang smiled and left the black tortoise world, entering the castle. The time laws of the castle were different from before. Now, 1 day was equal to 1 year. In other words, even if he was in seclusion for 100 years in the castle, only 10 days would have passed outside. Without thinking too much, Qin Feiyang sat cross-legged on the ground, calmed his heart, and began to comprehend the gate of reincarnation. That night, the inner demons and the blood Kirin completed their mission. The lake that had disappeared appeared again. A brand new small courtyard was located next to the lake. At night, the waning moon hung in the sky, and the cold stars dotted the sky. The blood Kirin stood in front of the courtyard and shook its head. "I didn't expect that our god of war would be doing such mundane things. What a waste of talent." The inner demon said, "But don't you feel a sense of accomplishment watching all this?" "A little, and there is a very warm feeling." The blood Kirin nodded. "This is home," the inner demons murmured. "Home." The blood Kirin was silent for a moment. After a while, it said, "When I was with the demon Alpha, home was too far away for me. I never thought I could really have it." "Don't you have it now?" The inner demons laughed. "Yes, this emperor will definitely cherish everything that I have now," said the emperor. The blood Kirin said. The inner demons laughed and said, "Not bad. Good awareness. Do you have wine on you? Let's have a few drinks." "Wine? No." The blood Kirin shook its head. "You don't, but I do." A hoarse laugh rang out in the night sky. The inner demons and the blood Kirin looked up and saw an old man in black standing in the void above. The inner demons said in surprise, "Why aren't you enjoying life in the imperial capital? What are you doing here?" "It was Elder Qin. I was afraid that you would be lonely, so I brought you wine." Elder Qin landed beside the inner demons and smiled. "Come on. Don't think that we don't know. You must have been asked by Father to persuade us. Like I said, we are not interested in the crown prince of Great Qin or the throne of the emperor." The inner demons said, "You guessed wrong this time. His Majesty didn't know that I was in the spiritual state. Besides, His Majesty has given up and won't persuade you anymore." Elder Qin smiled. "Really?" the inner demons asked. "More real than real gold." Elder Qin said, "Then we welcome you." "Blood Kirin, hurry up and get some game." The inner demons said, "My lord inner demons, the 9 continents have been slaughtered. Where can I get game for you?" The blood Kirin said helplessly. The inner demons said, "Aren't the corpses of those beasts still here?" The blood Kirin quickly waved its claws and said, "No, no, no. It's disgusting to eat them." "Disgusting my ass. You even dare to eat us humans. Why are you afraid of these?" The inner demon rolled her eyes and shouted, "Go and get some beasts with good meat. Otherwise, I'll chop off your claws and serve them with wine. Chilin's claws should taste good, right?" Right away. Hearing this, the blood Kirin's body trembled. It immediately flew into the sky and disappeared into the night sky. Elder Qin couldn't help but shake his head and laugh when he saw the blood Kirin running for its life. He looked around and asked the inner demons, "Where is Feiyang?" "He is in the castle, learning the gate of rebirth." The inner demons pouted. "Silly boy." Elder Qin shook his head and sighed. "Why do you care? If he wants to die, let him die." The inner demon said coldly. Elder Qin rolled his eyes. "Don't talk nonsense. Bring out the wine. This is the first time I have drunk since I created my body. Tonight, let's get drunk." The inner demons laughed. "Okay, I am willing to risk my life to accompany you." Elder Qin smiled. "How can you drink without me?" Another voice rang out. Lu Zheng flew through the air and landed in front of the two. "Why are you here, kid?" The inner demons was shocked. Hey, hey. I am Qin Feiyang's cousin. Of course, I am your cousin. Can you show some respect?" Lu Zheng said angrily. The inner demons looked at him with disdain. "I am already giving you face by calling you kid. I don't care about that face." Lu Zhang rolled his eyes at the inner demons and bowed to Elder Qin. Greetings, Elder. Elder Qin smiled and asked, how is the Lu family? Everyone is doing well. The Bai Sima has disappeared. Second Grandpa said that you should visit the Lu family more often when you are free. Lu Zheng said, there will be plenty of time. Elder Qin smiled. The inner demons looked at Lu Zheng and said, kid, about Lu Hong. Without waiting for the inner demon to finish speaking, Lu Zheng said angrily, can you not bring up a sore spot? Okay. I won't mention it. But this time, when Lu Hong is resurrected, you have to seize this opportunity. The inner demon said meaningfully. Do I need you to tell me that? Lu Zheng glared at him angrily. Soon, the blood Kirin came back carrying a boar. That night, whether it was the inner demons or Lu Zheng, they were all drunk, especially the inner demons. The first time he had touched wine, he immediately fell in love with the feeling. I really don't understand. Wine is such a good thing. Why don't I like it? You still don't understand? My little cousin is a person without emotions. I agree with this sentence very much. Those men who don't drink are not men at all. In the future, we two brothers have to work together against outsiders. The inner demons roared. Yes, work together against outsiders. Wait, no, he is the real cousin. You are a fake, but I like you very much. In the future, you are the real one, and he is a fake. The two shook their heads, and their bodies reeked of alcohol. I am the real one? He is a fake? The inner demons asked drunkenly. Yes, let me tell you, I have disliked him for a long time. He has nothing to do all day, but he always goes to flirt with Hong Er. If it wasn't for Hong Er's sake, I would have beaten him to death. Lu Zheng said angrily, I support you. But little cousin, you really like Lu Hong? Of course. My love for her is higher than the sky, thicker than the earth, and bigger than the sea. Then roar a few times. Let me hear it. Okay, roar. Hong Er, I love you. Hong Er, I really can't live without you. Come back. Seeing the two of them with their arms around each other's shoulders and crying like ghosts and wolves, Old Qin and the blood Kirin couldn't help but shake their heads and laugh. I have a feeling that the inner demons will cause a lot of trouble in the future because of drinking, the blood Kirin said. Old Qin nodded. I feel the same. Old Qin nodded. The blood Kirin looked at the inner demons and said, Old Qin, there is something I need to tell you. What is it? Old Qin asked suspiciously. The Grandmaster is dead, but Zhuge Shunfeng is not. Qin Yuan sealed him in the reincarnation sea. The young master left him as a stepping stone for the little prince. You should pay attention to him. The blood Kirin said. Old Qin was silent for a while and sighed. Fei Yong has really put in a lot of effort for the little prince. It can't be helped. The little prince is the only heir to the throne. I just hope that in the future, the little prince will not be blinded by hatred and lead the great Qin astray. The blood Kirin said, Don't worry. I will teach him well. Emperor Hong and His Majesty will also work hard to untie the knot in the little prince's heart. If there comes a day when he becomes unreasonable, I will kill him with my own hands. Old Qin smiled. The blood Kirin nodded. With Old Qin's words, the future of the great Qin would be assured. Please remember the domain name of this book. Literature Library Mobile Version Website. Chapter 1879. In the blink of an eye, 10 days had passed. Old Man Qin and Lu Zheng did not leave during these 10 days. The inner demons did not go to the castle either. They were afraid of disturbing Qin Feiyang. That evening, Zhao Tailai, Cui Li, Tang Hai, and the Golden Leopard came. They were all in high spirits. Old Man Qin smiled. It seems that you guys have had a good time these 10 days. I haven't been so relaxed in a long time. If old Tang didn't rush us back, we would have stayed for a few more days, Zhao Tailai said. Since it's a trip, we should have a good time. Why are you in such a hurry to come back? Old Man Qin was suspicious. I'm worried about the young master. I'm afraid I won't have a chance to see the young master again, Zhao Tailai sighed. Tang Hai frowned. Old Man Zhao, can you shut your mouth? Didn't you say that? Why are you scolding me now? Zhao Tailai was helpless. He looked at the inner demons and the blood Kirin and asked, "How is the young master now?" The blood Kirin said, "For the past 10 days, he has been in the castle learning the gate of rebirth. He hasn't come out even once." Zhao Tailai was silent for a moment and sighed. It seems that the young master is planning to revive everyone. Is there a difference between reviving everyone and reviving only a part of them? Old man Qin was suspicious. Of course there is a difference. If the gate of rebirth is only at the initial stages, then the young master still has a chance to live. But if he has fully mastered the gate of rebirth, then he will definitely die when he opens the gate of rebirth. Zhao Tailai said, "What?" Old man Qin's eyes trembled. Chueli said, "That's why we rushed back. We were afraid that we wouldn't even have a chance to see him one last time." "Shut up," Tang Hai shouted. Zhao Tailai and Chueli looked at Zhao Tailai and lowered their heads in silence. The atmosphere at the scene was extremely heavy. There's nothing to worry about. The young master has done so much for Great Qin. I believe that good people will be rewarded. The golden leopard smiled. Yes, Heaven's Eye, of course, will not let a bad person go. Come, come, come. Lord Inner Demon, let's drink together. Zhao Tailai said. The atmosphere became lively again. However, the haze on old man Qin's face did not dissipate. In the blink of an eye, another 3 months passed. In addition to the previous 10 days, it was a total of 100 days. Of that, Qin Feiyang has already been in seclusion in the ancient castle for 100 years. During this time, Inner Demon, Zhao Tailai, and the others had been eating, drinking, and having fun. After finishing the wine, he even went to the imperial capital to buy more. In old man Qin's eyes, everyone was a little heartless. 3 months later, the weeds sprouted and the young trees took root. More than 2 months ago, the emperor led the Qilin army and the invincible Black Army to the spiritual state to bury the dead people and fierce beasts. The emperor had also come to Iron Ox Town after all. As the ruler of a nation, there were definitely many things waiting for him to deal with after the war. As for the Forgotten Continent, Mu Tianjun didn't order a massacre, so the Central Divine Kingdom, including several major regions, didn't suffer much damage. This morning, as usual, everyone drank until the middle of the night and slept until the sun was high up in the sky. The first person to wake up was Old Man Qin. When he washed up and walked out of the room, he immediately saw a young man in white standing alone by the lake with his hands behind his back, quietly watching the lake. Feiyang. Old man Qin was stunned. He quickly took a step forward and landed beside Qin Feiyang, saying, "Are you out of seclusion?" "Yes." Qin Feiyang nodded. "What about the gate of reincarnation?" Old man Qin asked, looking quite nervous. Qin Feiyang smiled but didn't say anything. In fact, Old man Qin really wanted Qin Feiyang to tell him that he hadn't comprehended to perfection yet. But the smile on Qin Feiyang's face already explained everything. Do we really have to do this? Old man Qin was silent for a moment, turned to look at the lake, and asked in a hoarse voice, "Even if I unfortunately die, there's still the inner demons." "He's me." Qin Feiyang smiled. His expression was incomparably calm, without the slightest fear of death. Sigh. Old man Qin sighed deeply. "Young master?" Zhao Tailai was the second to wake up. When he saw Qin Feiyang standing by the lake, he shouted, "Everyone, come out quickly. The young master is out." Whoosh! Immediately, Lu Zheng, Tang Hai, Chueli, the golden leopard, and the blood Kirin all rushed out. Only the inner demon walked out slowly with a casual look on her face. Chueli said excitedly, "Young master, when did you come out? Why didn't you wake us up?" "I came out early in the morning. I saw that you were all resting, so I didn't disturb you." Qin Feiyang smiled. Zhao Tailai scratched his head and smiled awkwardly. "Young master, I'm sorry. These 3 months it's okay. After all, we've worked hard for most of our lives. It's not easy to have some free time. Of course, we should relax." Qin Feiyang shook his head and smiled. "What about you? Do you want to open the gate of rebirth now, or do you want to wait until you relax?" The inner demons asked as he walked over. These 100 years, I've been relaxed enough, and I can't wait. Qin Feiyang smiled. The inner demons stopped, looked at the sky, and sighed. Yes, 100 years have passed in the castle. After saying that, he withdrew his gaze and looked at Qin Feiyang's back. He smiled and said, "Then let's begin." However, before he finished speaking, the inner demons suddenly used the walk formula and landed behind Qin Feiyang. He slapped the back of Qin Feiyang's head. "Inner demons, what are you doing?" Zhao Tailai and the others' faces changed. But in the face of the inner demon's move, Qin Feiyang was not surprised at all. As if he had expected it, he grabbed the inner demon's wrist. The inner demons raised his eyebrows. "You're too naive." Qin Feiyang shook his head. The inner demon's face darkened, and he said angrily, "Let go." Qin Feiyang let go of the inner demons, turned to face the inner demons and sighed. "It's my responsibility to revive everyone, not you." "What do you mean?" Everyone was surprised, but neither Qin Feiyang nor the inner demons explained to them. "Humph." The inner demons snorted and said, "I didn't expect you to see through it. Although I've been in seclusion all this time, and you've been deliberately hiding your inner emotions, after all, our minds are connected. Sometimes, I can still feel it." Qin Feiyang said. The inner demons said, "Since you've already felt it, you should get out of the way." Qin Feiyang said, "I've already said that it's my responsibility. It has nothing to do with you. You'd better live well. Why are you so stubborn? You know very well that the person who really matters to everyone is you, not me. I'm the inner demons. I shouldn't exist in this world. I'm very happy to be able to do something for everyone. Do you understand?" The inner demon said angrily. Qin Feiyang looked at the inner demons silently. After a long time, he smiled and said, "Thank you, but I won't agree to it." "You." The inner demons was furious. "Wait a minute. Could it be that the inner demons wanted to knock the young master unconscious so that he could open the gate of rebirth and revive everyone?" Zhao Tailai was surprised. He heard about it. Tang Hai and the others looked at the inner demons in a daze. That's what he thought. Because the two of us can share it. I've comprehended the gate of rebirth to perfection. It's the same as him comprehending it to perfection. And in the past 3 months, you've been drowning your sorrows in alcohol, but he's been enjoying the last period of his life. Qin Feiyang looked at Zhao Tailai and the others and said with a smile, "I see." Everyone suddenly understood, and a deep admiration suddenly rose in their hearts. Qin Feiyang retracted his gaze and looked at the inner demons with a smile. "You can leave now, idiot." The inner demons glared at Qin Feiyang fiercely and turned to walk to the side. However, there were already tears in his eyes. "You always say that I'm stupid, but in fact, you're the idiot. You don't fight for good things, but you insist on fighting for this kind of death." Qin Feiyang murmured. However, it was undeniable that the inner demon's action warmed his heart. "Thank you," Qin Feiyang said silently, looked up at the sky, and whispered, "Mother, I'll be able to see you again soon. I'm really happy." Boom. His voice fell. Waves of purple gold dragon chi rushed out of his body like a tide. "Silly boy." Old man Qin closed his eyes in pain and transmitted to Lu Zhang and the others, "I'm going to the Forgotten Continent and the Imperial Capital." "What for?" Zhao Tailai secretly said. "Inform Tantai Li, His Majesty, and Emperor Hong. Otherwise, I won't even have the chance to see them one last time." Old man Qin said. Lu Zhang's eyes couldn't help but redden. "Then help me inform Second Grandpa and the others. Although it will make them sad to see this scene with their own eyes." But, at this point, he couldn't continue. His voice was choked up, and he turned his head and wiped away his disappointing tears. "I know." Old man Qin nodded, opened his eyes, opened the portal, and walked in without looking back. Qin Feiyang also saw Old man Qin's departure. He also knew what Old man Qin was going to do, but he didn't stop him, because he also wanted to see everyone before he died. Boom. The purple gold dragon chi continuously poured into the sky. In the sky directly above, purple gold auspicious clouds gradually emerged. For a time, The wind blew and the clouds rolled, and the purple-gold auspicious clouds were still spreading in all directions. Not long after, the auspicious clouds spread to Black Bear City. But it didn't stop. The auspicious clouds were still spreading to Yin City, the Sea of Despair, and even the state capital. What? Fei Yong has opened the gate of rebirth? Central Divine Kingdom. Above the Pill Pagoda Square, the mysterious lady looked at Old Man Qin standing opposite her with a face full of surprise. Yes, go quickly, or you won't have the chance to see him again in the future, Old Man Qin said. What do you mean by that? What do you mean I won't have the chance to see him again? The mysterious lady said in shock and anger. He has already comprehended the gate of rebirth to perfection. After Old Man Qin finished speaking, he turned around and rushed to the imperial capital without looking back. Comprehended to perfection, the mysterious lady frowned. Suddenly, her body trembled violently, and she shouted, Rushuang, come out immediately. Genius remembered the address of this site in a second. Mobile version of reading website, M. Chapter 1880. Whoosh! A beautiful woman leaped into the sky from the main tower below. Come with me to the spiritual state. The mysterious lady grabbed Qin Rushuang and flew toward the teleportation altar below. Mother, what's wrong? Why are you in such a hurry? Qin Rushuang looked at the mysterious lady suspiciously. The mysterious lady said in a deep voice, Qin Feiyong has comprehended the gate of rebirth to perfection. We must stop him. What? The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix Pavilion also changed her expression. Miss, let's go too. Yi Shu, the monkey-faced old man, and the hook-nosed old man also flew over. All right, there's strength in numbers. Stop him together is simply nonsense. The mysterious lady shouted angrily. However, just as the teleportation altar opened, another 3 figures flew over. The 3 of them were Li He, Li Yin, and Pei Yi. What are you doing here? The mysterious lady looked at the 3 of them suspiciously. To be honest, we've been waiting for Brother Qin these days. Pei Yi said respectfully. Waiting for him for what? The mysterious lady raised her eyebrows. Qin Rushuang reminded, Mother, have you forgotten? They have a good relationship with Feiyong. The mysterious lady was stunned for a moment before she said in realization, I think so. Feiyong even asked me to take special care of them. Take special care of us? Li He and the other 2 felt a warmth in their hearts. Although Qin Feiyong's current strength had reached a level where they could only look up to him, he still didn't forget them. Since you have a good relationship with Feiyong, then come with me and help me persuade him. Let's go. I'll tell you the details on the way. The mysterious lady looked at Li He and the other 2 and took the lead to step onto the teleportation altar. Imperial capital. Hearing this, whether it was the Emperor, Emperor Hong, or Second Grandpa, they all couldn't wait and immediately rushed to the spiritual state. None of them expected that Qin Feiyong would be able to comprehend the gate of reincarnation to perfection so quickly. They also didn't expect that he would open the gate of rebirth without saying a word. When everyone entered the spiritual state one after another and appeared in the Butterfly Valley, the sky above the Butterfly Valley was already covered by auspicious clouds. But it still didn't stop. The auspicious clouds were still surging toward the other 8 continents. From the looks of it, it seemed as if it was preparing to cover the entire sky of the 9 great provinces. By the lake, Qin Feiyong stood against the wind. His long hair danced in the wind as he stared at the clouds in the sky. A faint smile hung on his resolute face. Zhao Tailai and the other 2, as well as the Blood Kirin and the other 2, stood next to the inner demons. They looked at Qin Feiyong quietly. Although there was no emotion on their faces, their hearts were already aching faintly. In fact, they also wanted to persuade Qin Feiyong and stop Qin Feiyong. But they knew better that they couldn't do that. Because at this moment, Qin Feiyong had been waiting for too long. Only 3 months had passed in the outside world, but 100 years had passed in the ancient castle. 100 years was equivalent to a mortal's lifetime. It was simply too long. Rumble. Crack. Gradually, between the clouds, the sound of thunder and lightning could be heard. Along with it, there were bursts of dragon roars. An extremely pure dragon's might slowly descended from the sky, enveloping all directions. A huge purple-gold divine dragon was faintly discernible in the clouds. Whether it was the dragon's scales, dragon's body, dragon's horns, dragon's eyes, or dragon's whiskers, they were all very real. It was like a real purple-gold dragon. Whoosh! The mysterious lady and the others were the first to arrive. When she saw the purple-gold dragon in the clouds, the mysterious lady's expression changed drastically. The mysterious lady shouted, "Fei Yong, you have to stop right now." Qin Fei Yong looked at the group of people and smiled. "Thank you for coming to see me off." "Nonsense. This is nonsense." The mysterious lady was furious. She took a step toward Qin Fei Yong. "Blood Kirin," the inner demon shouted. The Blood Kirin sighed and stepped in front of the mysterious lady. "Move." The mysterious lady shouted angrily. The Blood Kirin shook his head. "Yishu, what are you waiting for?" The mysterious lady said angrily. Yishu, the monkey-faced old man, and the aquiline-nosed old man came back to their senses. They immediately went around the Blood Kirin and rushed toward Qin Fei Yong. The inner demon shouted, "No one is allowed to come near me." Yes, Zhao Tailai, Tang Hai, Chui Li, and the golden leopard nodded. They moved together and blocked the mysterious lady. Zhao Tailai looked at Yishu and sighed. "Old Yi, stop. Don't force us to attack." The mysterious lady looked at Zhao Tailai and the others and shouted angrily, "You are all Qin Fei Yong's friends. Why do you allow him to do such a stupid thing?" Zhao Tailai said, "It is because we are friends that we have to stop you. You are so stupid." The mysterious lady was burning with anger. She slapped the Blood Kirin. "Sorry," the Blood Kirin whispered. The Blood Kirin whispered. Divine power rolled out, and the mysterious lady was sent flying. After all, the Blood Kirin was a low-level war god, and the mysterious lady was only a beginner war god. The gap between the two was too big. "Inner demons, why did you ask the Blood Kirin to stop us? What is the meaning of this? Do you want to replace Qin Fei Yong?" The mysterious lady was furious. "Shut up." The Blood Kirin's eyes turned cold. He looked at the mysterious lady and said, "Even if you are the young master's great-grandmother, I will not allow you to insult Mr. Heart Demon. You do not understand him. For the young master, he would sacrifice himself without hesitation. Yes, he wanted to knock the young master out and open the door of rebirth for the young master to revive everyone. Actually, the inner demons are feeling worse than you." Zhao Tailai sighed. "Replace Fei Yong and open the door of rebirth?" The mysterious lady was stunned. She had not expected the inner demons to do such a thing. After she steadied herself, the mysterious lady looked at the inner demons and said apologetically, "Child, I am sorry. I was too impatient. Great-grandmother, I know. You don't have to explain." The inner demons shook his head. Shua. At this time, the king, Emperor Hong, Old Qin, and second grandpa arrived above the lake. Looking at the clouds and the purple gold dragon in the sky, the king's face fell. He mumbled, "Is it too late?" "No. We can still stop him now," the mysterious lady said. The king's spirit was lifted. He looked at the mysterious lady and then at Zhao Tailai and the others. He said angrily, "What are you doing? Get out of my way." Boom. The inner demon stepped forward and landed next to the Blood Kirin. He shouted, "How many times do I have to tell you? There are some things we must do." Everyone was shocked. On one hand, they were shocked by the inner demons. On the other hand, they were shocked by the inner demon's words. It turned out that in the eyes of Qin Fei Yong and the inner demons, reviving everyone was something they had to do. I'll say it right now. Today, if anyone dares to cause trouble and stop us from opening the door of rebirth, I will kill them. The inner demons glanced at the group of people. His blood-red eyes were like a sea of blood. There was not a single person present who did not tremble both physically and mentally. "You rascal, why are you being so harsh? Can't you be gentle?" "But I still have to thank you." Qin Fei Yong looked at the back of the inner demons and smiled. The inner demons snorted coldly without looking back. "Thank my ass. Hurry up, don't waste my time." Qin Fei Yong smiled. Step by step, he stepped into the sky. At this moment, a man and a beast were standing in the clouds, looking at Qin Feiyang. It was Qin Yuan and the snow python. Qin Feiyang stepped into the clouds and saw them, but he didn't say anything. He just nodded and smiled. Qin Yuan didn't say anything. He only gave Qin Feiyang an encouraging look. Old thing, to be honest, now I am beginning to admire this kid. The snow python whispered, looking at Qin Feiyang with a complicated expression. Qin Yuan smiled but didn't say anything. Qin Feiyang stood in the clouds, and the purple gold dragon aura was constantly surging. Roar! The second dragon, the third dragon, the fourth dragon. One by one, the purple gold divine dragons kept appearing. They flew out of the clouds from time to time, revealing their huge bodies. Each dragon was thousands of feet long, and the terrifying dragon power shook the heavens. Time passed little by little. The people below didn't try to persuade him anymore, because they knew that even if their mouths were dry, the inner demons wouldn't make way, and Qin Feiyang wouldn't stop. Roar! About half an hour passed. 99 purple gold divine dragons were born in the clouds. They flew in the clouds and hovered in the sky. Every dragon scale on their bodies was emitting a dazzling divine light. The inner demons had seen this scene before, but it was the first time for the Emperor and the others. 99 purple gold divine dragons. What a spectacular scene. It was rare to see such a scene in one's life. It's starting. I'll say it again. No one is to disturb him. The inner demons said, roar. Before they finished speaking, the 99 purple gold divine dragons in the clouds roared at the sky. Then, they gathered together. The dragon heads faced the sky and the dragon heads faced the ground, like stone pillars cast by divine iron, standing in the sky. The purple gold divine light shone in all directions. With my will, I seize the creation of heaven and earth. With my body, I seize the origin of the world. With my soul, I overturn the laws and reverse yin and yang. The gate of rebirth, open. Qin Feiyang's face was pious, as if he was on a pilgrimage. As he kept saying the words, the 99 purple gold divine dragons roared in the sky. Clang! When Qin Feiyang said the last word, it was accompanied by a loud noise that shook the sky and the earth. A huge stone door gradually appeared above the heads of the 99 purple gold divine dragons. The stone door was 999 feet high. It was glowing with a dazzling light. On it, mountains, rivers, earth, the sun, the moon, stars, and all living things were engraved. Every pattern was like a work of art, incomparably real. Is that the gate of rebirth? The Emperor and the others murmured. Although the Qin Emperor had created the divine dragon technique 10,000 years ago, this was the first time they saw the gate of rebirth. The mighty aura was many times stronger than the last time Qin Feiyang opened it. It was like a desolate aura from afar, shaking the hearts of everyone present. But when the gate of rebirth appeared, Qin Feiyang's cultivation began to fall, just like the last time. But this time, the inner demons were not affected at all. Chapter 1881. Grandfather, Feiyang's cultivation has already fallen to the false god realm. Seeing Qin Feiyang's cultivation constantly plummet, the emperor was burning with anxiety. What's done is done. Let's respect his choice. Emperor Hong sighed deeply. Silly child. The emperor clenched his hands tightly. His heart was in extreme pain. He wished he could replace Qin Feiyang and open the gate of rebirth. Unfortunately, he didn't have the ability. He hated his own incompetence. Why couldn't he protect this poor child every time? He hated God even more. Why did he let Qin Feiyang go through so many hardships? This child's life was already bitter and tiring enough. Couldn't he sympathize with him? The wind howled, and the dragons might shook the world. Qin Feiyang stood in the clouds and smiled at the gate of rebirth. Although his cultivation was disappearing, he didn't regret it at all. On the contrary, at this moment, he was very happy. To save his family and friends, what was the point of sacrificing himself? In this world, there were actually countless people who were stronger than him. He was just an insignificant person. He was already very satisfied to be able to bring everyone back to life. Old Zhao, Old Tang, Chuili, Junior Leopard, Inner Demons, Blood Qilin, thank you for accompanying me along the way. Father, grandfather, great-grandmother, second grandpa, third grandpa, fourth grandpa, Old Qin, thank you for your selfless love and care for me all these years. With you all, I am really happy. Qin Feiyang muttered to himself, the smile on his face becoming brighter and brighter. As his voice fell, Qin Feiyang waved his hand, and 2 seas of blood appeared. Although it had been a long time, one could still feel the deep resentment and despair. Why is there so much blood? The emperor and others were shocked. This blood is not only from the creatures of the 9 provinces, but also from the Black Tortoise world. This time, we were able to kill the demon ancestor and Mu Tianyang because of the creatures of the Black Tortoise world. They are the real saviors. The inner demons whispered. Clouds. Qin Feiyang waved his hand again, and a sea of corpses appeared. Within this sea of corpses were his grandfather, his maternal grandfather, his lover, his younger brother, and his mother. Many of them were beyond recognition. Some of them were even left with broken limbs. However, these people were the ones that Qin Feiyang was most concerned about and most reluctant to part with. I'm really sorry for making you wait for so long. After you are reborn, don't be sad for me. You must live happily. Qin Feiyang glanced at them one by one and mumbled with a smile. Then, he waved his hand and the mountain of corpses and the sea of blood flowed into the gate of reincarnation. Alas! Tang Hai sighed and took out a skeleton. With a wave of his hand, the skeleton rose into the air and flew towards the gate of rebirth. He had already found Sima Kuan in the ancient pagoda in the reincarnation sea. This skeleton was Rinduxing skeleton. The inner demons looked at Rinduxing skeleton and asked Tang Hai, are Yin-Wei's clansmen still alive? Yin-Wei's clansmen? Tang Hai was stunned. Tang Hai and the others did not know about the situation of the Sky Tiger tribe. The inner demons said, are there any living people in the ancient pagoda? Yes, and there are quite a few. There should be more than 1 million. Tang Hai said. They are Yin-Wei's clansmen. The inner demons whispered. Tang Hai nodded in realization. At the same time, the emperor also sighed and sent the corpse of the Kirin army's commander into the gate of rebirth. Between the clouds, the snow python turned to look at Qin Yuan and said anxiously, the gate of rebirth has been opened. Have you thought about it? Qin Yuan looked at Qin Feiyang and the gate of rebirth in silence. The snow python said angrily, Dong Xingyang has already said it so clearly. Are you still doubting it? Qin Yuan took a deep breath and turned to look at the snow python, saying, this old man has a condition. Say it. The snow python said. Qin Yuan formed a seal with both hands, and a blood-red mark appeared. It was the blood soul technique. What are you doing? The snow python raised its eyebrows. This bed is too big. This old man has to be prepared. If you really have no problem, then let this old man use the blood soul technique to control you. Qin Yuan said. You. The snow python stared at Qin Yuan angrily. If you don't agree now, then it means that everything you said to this old man is just a conspiracy. Qin Yuan said in a deep voice. You're an old bastard. The snow python cursed and closed its eyes, saying, hurry up, don't waste time. Qin Yuan did not hesitate. The blood soul technique entered the snow python's body and quickly merged with the power of the bloodline. After a while, the snow python opened its eyes and looked at Qin Yuan. Is it okay now? Qin Yuan took out the 4 drops of blood, looked at Qin Feiyang and muttered, Feiyang, I'm sorry. Then, Qin Yuan waved his old hand, and the 4 drops of blood passed through the layers of clouds and entered the gate of rebirth in an instant. This scene happened too quickly, and no one noticed it. But as the one who opened the gate of rebirth, Qin Feiyang, noticed it and looked at Qin Yuan suspiciously. Believe me, I won't harm you. Qin Yuan's voice sounded in Qin Feiyang's mind. Hearing this, Qin Feiyang did not think too much about it. At this moment, his cultivation had already fallen to Martial Master. Martial Master did not have the ability to fly. Seeing that Qin Feiyang was about to fall from the sky, The inner demons took a step forward and rushed to Qin Feiyang's side. A wave of divine power appeared and supported Qin Feiyang. Thank you. Qin Feiyang smiled gratefully. Do you think I want to talk to you? The inner demons glared at him. Qin Feiyang shook his head and smiled. It was also at this moment that his cultivation had completely disappeared, and he had become a real ordinary person. But it did not stop. The qi, blood, and vitality in his body were also rapidly disappearing. Sigh. The inner demon sighed. The gate of rebirth of the perfection realm was completely different from before. In the past, it was at the cost of cultivation. But now, not only cultivation, but also body, lifespan, and even soul. In other words, it was to use Qin Feiyang as a sacrifice. Why are you sighing? To be able to use my life in exchange for the resurrection of billions of living beings. This is a very worthwhile thing. Qin Feiyang laughed. The inner demon said, Don't say such useless nonsense. Say your last words. Regretful. Qin Feiyang whispered and said with a smile, There are no regrets. Just help me take care of them. The inner demons clenched his hands and nodded. Okay, I promise you. Thank you. Qin Feiyang smiled. More than half of his qi, blood, and lifespan had been lost, and his appearance had become extremely old. His hair was white, and he was in his twilight years. Thank you, my ass. You bastard. You left on your own and left all this mess to me. What do you think you are doing? The inner demons roared. He took a step forward and hugged Qin Feiyang tightly. The tears in his eyes could no longer be controlled. Young master, Tang Hai and the others looked at the two of them, and their hearts could not help but ache as they silently shed tears. The mysterious madam, the emperor, and the others had already collapsed, tears streaming down their faces. Qin Feiyang gently pushed the inner demons away and looked down at everyone. His bent body and the soul in his sea of consciousness were already disintegrating and dissipating. I am very lucky to have you in this life. Thank you. As the last word fell, Qin Feiyang's body and soul completely dissipated, turning into a rain of light that flew toward the gate of reincarnation. Deity! The inner demons roared and reached out to grab, but they could not grab anything. Young master, Zhao Tailai and the other two, as well as the Blood Kirin and the other two, also fell into a frenzy in an instant, rolling and crawling toward the clouds. Feiyang, Emperor Hong and the others did not move, but looking at the rain of light, their eyes were filled with sadness. God, why did you treat my child like this? I beg you, give me back my child. The emperor roared again and again, kneeling powerlessly in the void, burying his head, crying bitterly. In his heart, it was as if a knife was being twisted. You are really great. We will remember you. The people of Great Qin will remember you. The people of Forgotten Continent will never forget you. Thank you for contributing to the common people of the world, Pei Yi murmured. Originally, he had come to persuade Qin Feiyang. But when he came here and saw Qin Feiyang and the inner demons with his own eyes, he understood that persuasion was not something he should do, but silently support. Please don't be sad, because this is not the result I want to see. I want to see the smile on your faces. Please don't let me leave with self-blame and regret. A faintly discernible voice suddenly reverberated in everyone's mind. This was Qin Feiyang's last trace of consciousness. After saying this, he turned into a rain of light, bit by bit, and merged into the gate of reincarnation. That's right. Young Master's greatest wish is for the people around him to live happily. Now, his wish has finally been fulfilled. We should not be sad about it. Zhao Tailai roared. Yes, we should be happy for Feiyang, proud. Everyone, laugh for me. We can't let Feiyang leave with regret, Emperor Hong shouted. Everyone was indeed laughing. However, that smile of his was so bitter, so sad that it made one shed tears. This way, I really don't have any more regrets. Qin Feiyang's voice sounded again. However, no one heard this voice. His last bit of consciousness faded away along with the voice. The rain of light also completely merged with the gate of reincarnation. Qin Feiyang disappeared. The only things left were the Chinquan bag, the Phoenix Godblade, the ancient castle, the image crystal, the gate of time and space, the wings of the mermaid princess, and Ling Yunfei's spatial divine item, which floated in front of the inner demons and the others. Mobile version reading website, M. Chapter 1882. The divine phoenix blade was also wailing. The ancient castle was shrouded in a golden barrier, and there was a small crack on the barrier. Obviously, this barrier was the seal set up by the golden small beast. The ancient castle sealed by the barrier also exuded a heart-wrenching grief. The inner demons calmed down, glanced at the emperor and the others below, looked up at the gate of rebirth and murmured, "Don't worry, I will definitely do what I promised you." Boom! A vast aura suddenly roared out from the gate of rebirth. "It's about to be resurrected. Get ready to welcome everyone," the inner demons said. Zhao Tailai and the others nodded. In the face of this moment, the emperor and the others also suppressed the sadness in their hearts and looked nervously at the gate of rebirth. Whoosh! Finally, a woman walked out from the gate of rebirth. It was Run Wushuang. Zhao Tailai waved his hand, and a wave of divine power surged out, immediately transforming Ren Wushuang's body into a long dress. People who were reborn were all naked. This was the preparation that the inner demons said. "Where is this? Am I not already dead?" Ren Wushuang looked around, looked at the gate of rebirth, and his eyes were full of confusion. The inner demons said, "Step aside first." "Fei Yang." Ren Wushuang heard the voice, looked at the inner demons, and a trace of joy appeared on his face, but then he shook his head and said, "You are not Fei Yang. Who are you? What is going on?" "Tang Hai," the inner demons shouted. "Understood." Tang Hai rose into the air, took Ren Wushuang to the side, and said, "Don't ask anything now, I will tell you later." "Okay." Ren Wushuang nodded. Then, one figure after another kept walking out of the gate of rebirth. They were all unfamiliar faces. There were creatures from the 9 prefectures. There were also creatures from the Black Tortoise realm. These creatures included humans and ferocious beasts, but occasionally there would be a familiar face. As for those without cultivation, Tang Hai would send them down to the ground below. Those with cultivation gathered around Ren Wushuang. However, without exception, all of their faces were filled with confusion. It was easy to imagine how long it would take for the billions of living beings to be resurrected. Noon passed. In the afternoon, there were already too many people here. Whether it was on the ground or in the void, it had become a sea of people. They were all confused. However, looking at the people who kept coming out of the gate of reincarnation, they knew that someone must have saved them. In the evening, 2 ferocious beasts, one big and one small, walked out of the gate of rebirth. What's going on? They were the Black Bear King and its cub. The father and son scanned their surroundings, their eyes filled with bewilderment. Another old man walked out of the gate of reincarnation. He was Feng Ling Heir's grandfather, Feng Cheng. Black Bear King? You! Feng Cheng scanned his surroundings before looking at the Black Bear King and his son. His old face was filled with astonishment. In the evening, many familiar faces appeared. Gongsun Bei, Fatso, Ling Yunfei, Old Man Run, Jiang Jingyi, Yin Wei, 6 elders, Willow Tree, Yu Huang, Crocodile Emperor, Golden Wolf King, Wang Xiaojia, Wang Yangfeng, Lu Yun, Ji Shui, Elder Wan, Li Ji, and so on and so forth. There were too many to count. For example, Lu Yun and others, looking at the scene in front of them in the gate of reincarnation, they were as confused as everyone else. However, Fatso and others knew the reason for everything the moment they saw the gate of reincarnation. They silently retreated to the side, suppressing the sadness in their hearts and persuading themselves not to cry. However, tears still flowed down uncontrollably. Lu Yun, Emperor Chun, Lu Hong, Feng Ling Heir, Zhao Shuanger, Lin Yi, and the mermaid princess were also resurrected one by one. Why? Why did you save me? Lin Yi looked at the gate of reincarnation and muttered to herself. She, who cultivated the art of forgetting emotion, did not recover her previous memories because of this rebirth. However, people like the mermaid princess and Emperor Qin had recovered their memories. Ling Er, Qing Zhu, Shuang Er, A series of surprised cries sounded in the crowd. Luo Qingzhu, Fengling Air, and Zhao Shuanger looked in the direction of the sound. When they saw Jiang Jingyi and his wife, Feng Cheng, and the Zhao family's old man, they were overjoyed. Father, mother, grandpa, the three girls immediately rushed over. Honger. Lu Zhang was also very excited and ran towards Lu Hong. Go away. Lu Hong pushed him away, rushed to the inner demons with a blank expression, and asked, Tell me, where is Fei Yang? The inner demons said, He has merged with the gate of reincarnation. Merge. Lu Hong's gaze trembled. Soon after, another woman walked out of the gate of reincarnation. It was the mother that Qin Fei Yang missed the most, Lu Qiuyu. I'm not dead. She looked down at herself, looked up at the surroundings, and turned to look at the gate of reincarnation. Her body suddenly trembled. Qiuyu. The emperor quickly flew up to support Lu Qiuyu. Why? Why didn't you stop Fei Yang? Lu Qiuyu said angrily. The emperor reached out and hugged his crazy lover tightly in his arms and said, Why didn't I stop him? Our child has grown up. He has his own choice. Silly. Really silly. Lu Qiuyu cried bitterly. Another young man walked out of the gate of reincarnation. It was the little prince. The emperor waved his hand and quickly pulled the little prince to his side. Father, why am I not dead? The little prince looked around, his little face full of suspicion. It was your brother who saved you. That gate is your brother. In order to save you, he sacrificed himself. The emperor said in pain. Brother. The little prince's body trembled. He raised his head and looked at the gate of reincarnation. No, I haven't avenged mother yet. How can you die? If you want to die, you should die in my hands. The little prince roared. The inner demons glanced at the little prince and raised his eyebrows slightly. Zhao Tailai hurriedly said, Lord inner demons, don't be rash. Humph. The inner demons snorted coldly, looked at the gate of reincarnation, and said, It should be about time. Zhao Tailai breathed a sigh of relief and nodded. It is about time. He was afraid that the inner demons would be unhappy and kill the little prince on the spot. After the little prince came out, no one else came out, but the gate of reincarnation did not disappear. What's going on? The blood Kirin was surprised. I'm not sure. Zhao Tailai shook his head. Suddenly, 3 people and 1 beast came out of the gate of reincarnation, one after another. How is that possible? Zhao Tailai and the others were suddenly shocked. Emperor Hong, Elder Qin, 4th Grandpa, the mysterious Madam, Yishu, the monkey-faced old man, and the aquiline-nosed old man immediately rushed behind the inner demons and the others, because the ones who came out were the demon ancestor, Mu Tianyang, Mo Long, and Mu Qing. At the same time, Luo Qingzhu protected Jiang Jingyi and his wife behind her. Zhao Shuanger and Fengling Air also protected Elder Zhao and Feng Cheng behind them. What's wrong? Feng Cheng was suspicious. They are all great devils who kill people like scything flax. Fengling Air said in a deep voice. The atmosphere at the scene became incomparably heavy. Why aren't they dead? At the same time, Mu Tianyang glanced at Inner Demon's group, then swept his gaze over the surrounding crowd. His eyes filled with suspicion. Mo Long and Mu Qing were the same. The gate of reincarnation. So it was you who saved me. The demon ancestor murmured. Mu Tianyang was taken aback and turned to look at the demon ancestor. He saw the demon ancestor looking at the void behind them with a trace of disappointment in his eyes. Mu Tianyang, Mu Qing, and Mo Long also turned to look and were stunned. Is this the gate of reincarnation? Mu Qing murmured. Yes, this is the gate of reincarnation, but I don't understand. Why are you resurrected? The inner demons said gloomily. Mu Tianyang raised his eyebrows and turned to look at the inner demons. Listening to what you said, Qin Fei Yang didn't intend to resurrect us. What do you think? Trash like you are qualified to resurrect us? The inner demons sneered, and the blood-colored long sword formed by the kill formula had already condensed in his hand. That terrifying murderous aura shrouded all directions. In an instant, everyone here, all the beasts, fell into panic. We're trash? Mu Tianyang murmured, glancing at the surrounding void and the creatures on the ground below. A monstrous, murderous intent surged from his body as he looked up to the sky and laughed. It seems that this is a chance given to me by the heavens. Damn it. Damn it. Zhao Tailai and the others almost went crazy. It wasn't easy to kill these two, but now they were resurrected. Who sent their flesh and blood into the gate of reincarnation? Mu Tianyang, are you still not going to let go? The demon ancestor suddenly sighed and turned to look at Mu Tianyang. Let go? Mu Tianyang grinned. The demon ancestor said, no matter what, it was Qin Feiyang who saved us. You should be grateful to him. Grateful? Mu Tianyang was taken aback and laughed. Qin Feiyang forced us into this identity, and you still want to thank him? Are you stupid? Don't be stubborn anymore. With your strength, you're no match for the inner demons. Moreover, there's still me. The demon ancestor said. What do you mean? Mu Tianyang's face sank. The demon ancestor said, what I mean is, if you continue to act recklessly, I will kill you. What's going on? The demon ancestor. Looking at the demon ancestor at this moment, the emperor and the others were stunned. Zhao Tailai walked to the side of the inner demons and whispered, it seems that the demon ancestor has really awakened. This is good news for us. Whether he has awakened or not, it's unforgivable. The inner demons grinned, and the blood-red armor formed by the battle secret art also emerged. At this time, Qin Yuan and the snow python appeared. Qin Feiyang looked at the inner demons and sighed. It was this old man who sent their flesh and blood into the gate of reincarnation. What? The inner demon's eyes trembled and roared. Why did you do this? Don't you know that they are the ones who caused this situation? Yes, Senior Qin, why did you do this? If it weren't for them, would the young lord have opened the gate of reincarnation? If he didn't open the gate of reincarnation, would the young lord have died? Zhao Tailai and the others cried out bitterly. Qin Yuan sighed and lowered his head. I'm sorry, this old man has disappointed you. Shut up. The inner demon's blood-red hair fluttered as he rushed in front of Qin Yuan and placed his blood-red sword on Qin Yuan's neck. His murderous aura surged as he roared. Do you think an apology can erase the fact that you betrayed us? Please remember the domain name of this book. Literature Museum mobile reading website. Chapter 1883. Betrayal. Zhao Tailai was taken aback. He walked to the side of the inner demons and asked cautiously, Lord Inner Demons, isn't the word betrayal a bit too serious? Serious? We trusted him so much, but he secretly helped the demon ancestor and Mu Tianyang. If this isn't betrayal, then what is? The inner demon shouted. Qin Yuan sighed. If you insist on saying so, this old man won't refute. The inner demon said, the truth is in front of you. What do you have to refute it? Qin Yuan said, actually, this old man can explain. Explain? I really don't understand. What kind of reason would make you betray our trust? The inner demons looked disappointed. If one were to say who he and Qin Feiyang trusted the most, it would undoubtedly be Qin Yuan. However, he didn't expect Qin Yuan to use their trust to do such a thing. How could this not make him disappointed? Qin Yuan glanced at the snow python on the side and said, this matter is too important. When there is a chance, we will talk about it in private. In that case, there is no need to explain. Betrayal is betrayal. The reason is no longer important. The inner demon's murderous intent soared to the sky. Under this murderous aura, everyone present, including the ferocious beasts, could not help but feel despair. Zhao Tailai advised, Lord Inner Demons, just bear with it and give him a chance to explain. You have the right to interrupt here. The inner demons turned to look at Zhao Tailai. His blood-red eyes were filled with ruthless light. Zhao Tailai's heart trembled and quickly retreated to the side. At this moment, the inner demon's eyes reminded him of the scene when he first met the inner demons. It also reminded him of the inner demon's true character and means. In front of Qin Feiyang, they could occasionally be presumptuous because Qin Feiyang wouldn't care. But in front of the inner demons, being presumptuous was tantamount to courting death. Crack. Suddenly, a deafening sound rang out. The eyes of the inner demons trembled. They quickly looked up, and saw that the gate of rebirth was starting to crack. This made the inner demons even angrier. He suddenly turned around, and like an enraged wild beast, he stared fixedly at Qin Yuan and said, "Do you know that opening the gate of rebirth this time will cause this sovereign to die?" "This old man knows." Qin Yuan nodded. "So you know. Since you know, why are you still helping Mu Tianyang and the others? Aren't you letting me down?" The inner demons roared and their bodies trembled. The blood-red sword in their hands had already cut through Qin Yuan's skin and blood flowed out. Qin Yuan lowered his head, his face filled with guilt. The inner demons exhaled and asked expressionlessly, "Are you prepared to die?" Qin Yuan took a deep look at the inner demons. Without saying anything, he closed his eyes. "Die." The inner demons murmured and swung their blood-red sword. He didn't hesitate at all, because his principle was that he would rather betray the world than let the world betray him. Clang! But just as the inner demon's sword fell, the snow python suddenly raised its tail and slapped the blood-red sword. Crack! The blood-red sword shattered on the spot. The inner demons was also sent flying, blood gushing out of his mouth. "Snow python, what are you doing?" Qin Yuan opened his eyes and glared at the snow python. "This is a personal grudge between this old man and him. Don't interfere." "You really are a stupid old man." The snow python snorted and looked at the inner demons. "Grow a brain and don't think about the problem. If Qin Yuan really wanted to harm you, do you think you can live until now? It's not important. It's not important at all. I only know that it was he who betrayed us first." The inner demons murmured. Killing intent surged out, and the blood-red sword appeared again. The snow python looked at the blood-red sword and said disdainfully, "Don't overestimate yourself. With the kill formula now, you are no match for us." "Yes, I don't deny that. But..." The inner demons glanced at the creatures in the air and on the ground and laughed sinisterly. "They are ready-made sacrifices." "What?" Zhao Tailai and the others' expressions changed. Shui Li hurriedly said, "Lord Inner Demons, you can't do this." "That's right. The creatures here were all exchanged with the young master's life. If you kill them now, wouldn't the young master's death be in vain?" The Blood Shielan also hurriedly advised. At the same time, Emperor Hong and the others, Qin Yuan, and the snow python all looked at the inner demons in shock. Hearing the inner demon's words, could it be that he wanted to kill everyone here? "Lord Inner Demons, please reconsider." Zhao Tailai even knelt in the air, looking anxiously at the inner demons. "It's not important. It's really not important. Once, under the influence of this sovereign, I have indeed changed a lot. I even believe that there is something between people. This thing is trust. But I didn't expect that our most beloved old man would betray us. This makes me doubt again. Does trust really exist? Is this sovereign's way of doing things really right? No, there is no trust in this world. The so-called benevolence, the so-called friendship, will only become a stone in our way. What use do I have for such things? So I have decided. I want to be my former self. I want to make all the creatures in the world tremble under my feet. Slaughter domain. Open." The inner demon let out a roar, and a huge territory appeared in an instant. The terrifying murderous aura instantly soared countless times. "It's over. It's completely over. Lord Inner Demons has gone crazy. Qin Yuan, this is all your fault. There are so many creatures here. If they all become sacrifices, Lord Inner Demon's strength is enough to destroy these 2 continents." Zhao Tailai and the others looked at Qin Yuan and shouted angrily, "It's all this old man's fault." Qin Yuan cried out in pain, "Yes, it's all your fault. They all died because of you. You'll be in pain and blame yourself for the rest of your life." The inner demons laughed wildly. The blood-red sword in his hand burst out thousands of sword chi, covering the sky and the earth as it surged in all directions. "Inner demons, it's not a good thing to have too much murderous aura." However, at this moment, a rather childish voice suddenly sounded in the void. The inner demons was stunned. He turned his head and saw that the gate of rebirth had already dissipated, but in the place where the gate of rebirth had disappeared, stood a little boy. This little boy was about 3 or 4 years old, wearing a small red doo-doo, and a golden bell hung around his neck. His little face was chubby and pink. A pair of big dark eyes blinked, looking quite cute. "Why are you here?" The inner demons was stunned. He had seen this little boy before. It was the child who had appeared in the Great Hall in the depths of the desert back then. At that time, this child had set a test for him and Qin Feiyang. Although the child looked very young, there was a sense of depth between his eyebrows, as if he was an antique who had lived for countless years. He glanced at the creatures around him, then looked at the inner demons and said, "Qin Feiyang asked me to tell you not to hate Uncle Yuan. He must have his reasons for doing this." "What do you mean?" The inner demons was stunned. "You mean, the young master is not dead yet?" Zhao Tailai and the others also looked at the little boy in surprise. "Who is he? He's such a small child. But why does the inner demons look a little afraid?" Everyone else was surprised, including the demon ancestor, Mu Tianyang, Qin Yuan, and the snow python. Sigh. Qin Feiyang's death has become an indelible fact. The little boy looked at Zhao Tailai and the others and sighed. The inner demon said angrily, "Even you can't save him?" "Me? I don't have that ability at the moment, but I can help him form a new body and preserve his last trace of consciousness," the little boy said. The inner demons trembled and asked, "If you preserve his last trace of consciousness, will you be able to save his life and even wake him up?" "It's not that simple, but it's not like there's no chance." After the little boy said that, he waved his hand, and a diamond-shaped crystal suddenly appeared. The crystal was about the size of an adult's palm. It had distinct edges and corners, like a sparkling and translucent diamond. It emitted resplendent divine light. The entire night sky was as bright as day. "This is the heart of origin of the Black Tortoise realm," the inner demons said in surprise. "You have a good memory." The little boy grinned. "Humph. Back then, our physical bodies were first shattered by it bit by bit, and then it reconstructed our physical bodies. How can I forget that feeling of living a life worse than death?" The inner demons snorted coldly. "Sure enough, it's a vengeful guy. But you should be grateful for it now," the little boy said. "If it can really reconstruct my body and preserve my last trace of consciousness, I will be grateful to it," the inner demons said. The little boy said, "What about Qin Yuan?" The inner demons turned to look at Qin Yuan. His bloody eyes were filled with murderous intent. After a long time, he put away the slaughter domain and shouted, "Take those 4 bastards and get out of my sight immediately." Qin Yuan sighed. He waved his old hand, rolled up the snow python, demon ancestor, and prepared to leave. Wait. At this time, a clear voice rang out. It was Linny. She flew to demon ancestor and said, "Master, take me with you." Demon ancestor looked at Linny, shook his head and sighed. "I can't take you with me." "Why?" Linny asked, looking a little flustered. "Girl, I'm sorry. I lied to you. In fact, Qin Feiyang is the person you like. You and Qin Feiyang grew up together. He regarded you as his sister, and you were deeply in love with him. I wanted to use you to get rid of him, so I let you practice the indifference secret art. I lied to you that Qin Feiyang is your enemy." Demon ancestor said. "What?" Linny's gaze trembled. She turned to look at the inner demons. "Qin Feiyang saved us because he had no choice, but he saved you willingly." Demon ancestor said. "Why did you lie to me?" Linny clenched her fingers and looked back at demon ancestor. Her eyes were burning with endless anger. "It's my fault. I also know that when you learn about these things, you will hate me, but I won't blame you, and I have no right to blame you, because this is what I deserve. But you have to live well and work hard to retrieve your memories. I believe you can do it." Demon ancestor smiled and nodded at Qin Yuan after saying that. Qin Yuan immediately took a group of people and disappeared without a trace. Chapter 1884. Phew. Zhao Tailai and others couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. As for Lin Yi, she stood alone in the void, looking a little bewildered. Her most trusted master is a deceiver. The man she once regarded as a life and death enemy is the person she used to be most attached to. This truth is a big blow to her. Luo Qingzhu sighed. Yeah, demon ancestor, this bastard, is really hateful. Thinking back to the past Linny, she was such a simple girl. He actually hurt her like this. Ling Yunfei was extremely angry. Okay, it's useless to complain now that things have come to this. Let's go and comfort her. By the way, tell her everything about the past and see if it can awaken her memory. Zhao Shuanger, Fengling Air, and the mermaid princess said. Luo Qingzhu and Ling Yunfei nodded. They were all the people Lin Yi was most familiar with. Looking at Lin Yi at this moment, they couldn't bear it. As for the inner demons, after Qin Yuan and others left, he immediately looked at the little boy and urged, "Hurry up!" The little boy waved his small hand, and the heart of origin suddenly emitted a hazy brilliance, filled with a sacred aura. Child, can he really reconstruct Fei Yang's physical body? Lu Qiuyu flew to the inner demons and asked nervously, "Mother, don't worry. He can do it." The inner demon smiled comfortingly. Actually, in his heart, he was also in a state of turmoil and had no idea what to do. "Mother?" Lu Qiuyu was taken aback. "What's wrong? Shouldn't I call you that?" The inner demons asked. No, no, no. Lu Qiuyu quickly waved her hand and said with a smile, "When I heard what you said just now, I thought you didn't recognize me anymore. Previously, I was really angry. If it weren't for that little brat suddenly running out, I would have already started a massacre. However, even if I activate the slaughter domain and start a massacre, I won't hurt you. After all, this feeling in my heart has taken root and sprouted. How can it be easy to erase it again?" The inner demon sighed. "You and Fei Yang are the same. Both of you are stupid." Lu Qiuyu grabbed the inner demon's hands with a doting expression. Sensing the warmth from Lu Qiuyu's palms, the inner demons felt as if their hearts were about to melt. Tears welled up in their eyes. Lu Qiuyu sighed deeply and said, "All these years, you have suffered too much. If you want to cry, then cry. I am the inner demons. I have a heart of stone. How can I cry?" The inner demons laughed. However, after she finished speaking, she turned her head and quietly wiped away her tears. Lu Qiuyu shook her head and smiled. The doting in her eyes became even stronger. Wang. At this moment, the heart of origin in the little boy's hand trembled slightly, and a vast aura surged out. Following closely, a blurry silhouette slowly materialized in front of the little boy. It was the silhouette of a human. The inner demons were delighted. The scene was exactly the same as when he had reconstructed his body at the end of the desert. In other words, the heart of origin of the Black Tortoise realm could indeed reconstruct Qin Fei Yang's body. As time passed bit by bit, the silhouette became clearer and clearer. "It's really Fei Yang," Lu Qiuyu murmured, looking extremely excited. The others, for example, Emperor Hong, the mysterious madam, the emperor, Fatso, and the others were also excited. About a few hundred breaths passed. Finally, the silhouette solidified. A young man of flesh and blood appeared in front of everyone. Who else could it be but Qin Fei Yang? There were no clothes on his body. The reconstructed skin was as tender as a baby's, glowing with a hazy treasure light. Being naked like this doesn't seem to be very beautiful. The little boy looked at Qin Fei Yang and muttered to himself. With a wave of his little hand, a white robe suddenly appeared on Qin Fei Yang's body. Immediately, he looked at the inner demons and said, "Done." Fei Yang, young lord. With the inner demons as the leader, a large group of people immediately swarmed forward. Lu Qiuyu was already crying tears of joy. However, in the face of everyone's shouts, Qin Fei Yang did not have the slightest reaction. He quietly lay in the void, his eyes closed, and his expression incomparably serene. The inner demons looked up at the little boy and asked, "Didn't you say that you can preserve his last trace of consciousness? Why didn't he wake up?" The little boy said, "I also said that it's not that simple." Zhao Tailai said, "Then didn't you also say that there's no chance?" "Yes, I said that. But it's obvious that being able to reconstruct his body is already my limit. As for whether or not I can wake him up, at this point, the little boy looked at the inner demons and said, "It's all up to you." Up to me? The inner demons was stunned. The little boy said, "If you want him to wake up, you have to go to the miracle to find a way." Miracle? The inner demons frowned. You also know that no one in Great Sheen or Forgotten Continent has the ability to wake him up, and no one has the ability to let him cultivate again. The little boy said meaningfully. The inner demons lowered his head and pondered for a while. He looked at the little boy and said, "Thank you for the reminder. I understand. However, I'm very curious. Who exactly are you to be able to control the Heart of Origin?" "My identity is a secret." The little boy grinned and disappeared with the Heart of Origin. "Stop pretending." The inner demons pursed his lips. However, he should indeed thank the little boy. If it weren't for his help, Qin Feiyang would have definitely been reduced to ashes, let alone reconstruct his body and preserve his last trace of consciousness. Phew! The inner demons let out a long breath, swept his gaze at the surrounding living beings, and said loudly, "You must be very confused. Why did you come back from the dead?" "Let me tell you now, it was Qin Feiyang who sacrificed his life to save you." His voice was like a bell, resounding in the minds of every person and beast. "So it was Qin Feiyang who saved us. Why is that so? Why would a devil like him be kind enough to save us?" Everyone was discussing. Hearing these discussions, Zhao Tailai immediately bristled with anger and roared, "In your eyes, is the young master a devil?" "Old Zhao, you don't say." Whether it's in the Black Tortoise world or in the Great Qin, the young master really has the image of a great devil. Chui Li smiled bitterly. "That's right. Back then, the young master used iron-blooded methods to destroy the various major forces in the Black Tortoise world. It was simply terrifying." Tang Hai shook his head and sighed. Hearing this, Zhao Tailai couldn't help but smile bitterly. "Forget it. A devil is a devil. There's no need to clarify anything." Looking at everyone's expressions, the inner demons waved his hand impatiently at Zhao Tailai and the others. Zhao Tailai asked, "What about the living beings in the Black Tortoise world?" The inner demons pondered for a moment before looking at the emperor and said, "Why don't we let them stay in the Great Qin?" "Sure." The emperor nodded and smiled. Although Qin Feiyang had resurrected everyone this time, there were still many living beings who had died a horrible death. In other words, many people and many beasts had completely died. If the people and beasts of the Black Tortoise world were left in the Great Qin, they could make up for these losses. "Lord Inner Demons, wait a moment. After the living beings of the Black Tortoise world were reborn, I found that there was still a devil mark on their bodies, and I still remember that the last time we were reborn, the devil mark didn't seem to disappear. In other words, rebirth can't remove the devil mark, and if the devil mark doesn't disappear, then they won't be able to stay outside for long." Zhao Tailai said. The inner demons lowered his head and frowned. "This is very simple, right? If the young master can erase the devil mark, Lord Inner Demons can definitely do it too." Chui Li said. "That's right. I seem to be able to control the Heart of Origin too. As long as the original body still has a bit of consciousness, the connection between me and him will not be severed." The inner demons came to a realization. After saying that, his mind moved and he immediately disappeared without a trace. The connection won't be severed? In other words, they can still share everything now? If that's the case, does that mean that young master can use this to awaken and restore his cultivation base? Zhao Tailai and the others were surprised. "It's not as simple as you say." Ling Yunfei suddenly sighed. "What's wrong?" They looked at Ling Yunfei in confusion. Back in the Reincarnation Sea, the inner demons mentioned this matter, but you were all fighting with the demon ancestors people outside and didn't hear it? Ling Yunfei said. "What did he say?" Zhao Tailai was surprised. "He told us that the loss of cultivation is a loss. Even if it's the bond between them, they can't share it with Boss Qin." Ling Yunfei said. They heard about it. Zhao Tailai and the others' faces were filled with disappointment. I guess that if they want to share their cultivation in the future, they will have to wait for Boss Qin to recover his current cultivation first. Ling Yunfei said. Sigh. It seems that not everything will go according to plan. Chui Li sighed. Sure enough, we can still enter the Black Tortoise realm. Inside the Black Tortoise realm, the land of the demons, the inner demon stood in the sky and scanned the surroundings with a trace of joy on his face. Since he could enter the Black Tortoise realm, he could naturally control the Heart of Origin. Suddenly, he sensed an aura in the herb field below. He looked down and was stunned. He saw that the little boy was sitting on the branch of a tree of fortune, holding a fortune fruit and swinging his 2 little feet while gnawing on it with relish. The Heart of Origin was also floating beside him. As for the 9 beast emperors that were guarding the herb field, they surrounded the little boy with terrified looks on their faces. It's too wasteful to eat the fortune fruit like this. The inner demon's face twitched and landed in front of the little boy. Young master, you're finally here. Hurry and drive him away. He has already eaten more than a dozen fortune fruits. The 9 beast emperors hurriedly looked at the inner demons as if they had seen their savior. Leave. The inner demons waved his hand. The 9 beast emperors looked at each other. Do you need me to say it again? The inner demons shouted. Hearing this, the 9 beast emperors trembled and immediately ran away as if they were running for their lives. The inner demons looked at the little boy and frowned. You've been in the Black Tortoise realm all this time? Of course. The little boy glanced at him and nodded. Who the hell are you? The inner demons raised his eyebrows. Not only could he control the Heart of Origin, but he could also enter and exit the Black Tortoise realm at will. The identity of this little boy was definitely not simple. Chapter 1885. I already said that it's a secret. Why are you still asking? You should try it too. It tastes pretty good. The little boy casually plucked a fruit of fortune from a nearby branch and threw it to the inner demons. The inner demons caught the fruit of fortune and raised his eyebrows. The little boy shook his head and said, You're really not as easy to get along with as Qin Fei Yang. The inner demons said, Cut the crap. I need the Heart of Origin. The little boy said helplessly, Isn't the Heart of Origin right next to you? Can't you take it yourself? You're not stopping me? The inner demons was surprised. Why should I stop you? The Heart of Origin is yours to begin with, the little boy said. The inner demons grabbed the Heart of Origin and frowned. According to what you said, can my original body and I also use the Heart of Origin to help others reconstruct their bodies? That's right. The little boy nodded. The inner demon's eyes flickered. Are you serious? No. I'm just joking. The little boy teased. Joking? The inner demons was stunned. Yes. Although you can control the rule power here, you're still far from controlling the Heart of Origin. The little boy smiled. What do you mean? The inner demons raised his eyebrows. It's hard to talk to you. What I mean is that your abilities are far from enough, the little boy said. A trace of anger appeared on the inner demon's face, and he immediately prepared to leave. I know what you're going to do with the Heart of Origin, but I don't know if you've thought about it. There are many pseudo-god and pseudo-god level divine beasts in the Black Tortoise world. Is it really the right choice to leave them in Great Qin? The little boy said. The inner demons was stunned. That's right. When the living beings of different continents gathered together, they would definitely fight for territory and resources. There would definitely be friction. It was even possible that Great Qin would once again fall into war. From the looks of it, they couldn't leave the living beings of the Black Tortoise world in Great Qin. Looks like you've already comprehended something. You're not completely hopeless. The little boy grinned and snatched the Heart of Origins, disappearing in front of the inner demons. Incurable? Are you saying that I'm an idiot? Brat, just you wait. I'll beat your ass sooner or later. The inner demons snorted angrily and left the Black Tortoise realm, appearing beside Qin Fei Yang. How is it? Zhao Tailai asked. The inner demons did not say a word. They closed their eyes and sensed the aura of the demon mark. As the ruler of the Black Tortoise world, no matter how the living beings of the Black Tortoise world tried to hide it, he could still capture the aura of the devil imprint. Very soon, he locked onto all the people with the devil's imprint, as well as the beasts. Following closely, he opened his eyes, and as he waved his hand, an invisible force appeared, covering the sky and covering the earth as it surged in all directions. What is he doing? Everyone was suspicious, but after a few breaths, half of the people and ferocious beasts disappeared without a trace. The living beings of the 9 continents were surprised. The inner demon said, "Those people and ferocious beasts that disappeared. I am a living being of the Black Tortoise world. Don't be nervous." Black Tortoise world? What is that place? Everyone was curious. The emperor was stunned. He looked at the inner demons suspiciously and said, "Didn't you say that you would leave them in the Great Qin Empire?" "I thought about it. After all, they are living beings from different continents. It is difficult for them to get along. It is better to send them back to the Black Tortoise world." The inner demons laughed. "So that's how it is." The emperor nodded in realization. The inner demons said, "Let everyone disperse. Zhao Tailai, Tang Hai, Chui Li, Blood Kirin, Junior Leopard. After all, there are so many living beings. You all should go and help Father." "Okay." The 3 people and 2 beasts nodded. Come. We will escort you back. The people of He State gather here. The people of Yu State gather over there. And the people of Feng State." Everyone started to get busy. The inner demons put away the Chinkuan bag, the divine phoenix blade, the castle, the gate of time and space, and the mermaid princess wings. Then, he picked up Qin Feiyang and flew down to the yard. "Ling Yunfei, I will return the space item to you. The white-eyed wolf is still inside." Lu Qiuyu, the mysterious lady, Emperor Hong, and Qin Rushuang all followed the inner demons. "Okay." Ling Yunfei nodded and put away the castle. Lu Ji looked at the inner demon's back. Then, she looked at Ling Yunfei and asked, "Yunfei, who is he? He looks exactly like Fei Yang, but why is his temperament so different?" "Mother, he is Boss Qin's inner demons." Ling Yunfei smiled. "Inner demons?" Lu Ji was confused. At her level of cultivation, she did not understand what the inner demons were. Not far away, Feng Chung looked at Feng Ling Er and said with a smile, "Ling Er, you have changed a lot after all these years." Old Master Zhao looked at Zhao Shuang and asked about her well-being. On the other side, Ren Wushuang also gathered with Old Master and Ren Duxing, all smiles. In short, everyone was happy to be reunited with their long-lost relatives. But Lu Hong had a sad look on her face. Lu Zhang kept comforting her, but he did not change her mind at all. He could not help but feel jealous. In the yard, the inner demons carried Qin Feiyang and walked straight into the wooden building and into a room. Inside the room, there was a brand new bed. This was specially built by the inner demons and the Blood Kirin when they built the yard. In the past 3 months, the inner demons had been sleeping here. The inner demons was about to put Qin Feiyang on the bed when Qin Rushuang, who followed closely behind, quickly took out a set of quilts from her Qinkuan bag and spread them on the bed. "Thank you." The inner demons thanked her and gently put down Qin Feiyang. "I really don't understand why the heavens want to torture my child like this. Hasn't he suffered enough all these years?" Lu Qiuyu stood by the bed and looked down at Qin Feiyang. Her tears could not help but flow down. The inner demons patted Lu Qiuyu's shoulder and comforted her. "Mother, everything will be fine. Trust me." Qin Rushuang looked at the inner demons and asked, "What did that child mean?" The inner demons pondered for a moment and said, "Don't worry about these things. Just take care of me." "Can you do it alone?" Emperor Hong looked at the inner demons and felt a little heartache. The inner demons smiled and said, "Great-grandfather, don't worry. I can't be defeated." Sigh. Emperor Hong sighed deeply. The inner demons waved his hand and said, "All right, everyone go out. Let Mother be alone for a while." "Okay." Everyone nodded and turned to leave one after another. The inner demons waved his hand, and the castle, the divine phoenix blade, the image crystal, and the space-time gate disappeared into Qin Feiyang's body. The inner demons took out the Qinkuan bag, the Wind Moon Pavilion, and the golden bead from the Mermaid 5 ancestors. He handed them to Lu Qiuyu and said, "Mother, take care of these first." "Okay." Lu Qiuyu nodded and took the Qinkuan bag and the 2 supreme-grade divine artifacts. The inner demons looked at Qin Feiyang again and turned to leave the room. As soon as he left the room, he saw a beautiful figure standing outside the door. Her face was full of self-blame and sadness. It was the mermaid princess. The inner demons raised his eyebrows and said, "Why are you standing here?" The mermaid princess immediately lowered her head, not daring to look into the eyes of the inner demons. Sigh. The inner demon sighed and said, "Actually, you don't have to blame yourself. After all, you had already lost your memory at that time, and this venerable has never blamed you." Hearing these words, the mermaid princess's tears started to flow down. "Silly woman." The inner demon shook his head and said with a smile, "You have always been one of the women this venerable cares about the most. Go in." "Okay." The mermaid princess nodded. "By the way, this is for you." The inner demons took out the pair of wings. "Thank you." The mermaid princess looked at the wings and said gratefully to the inner demons. With a gentle wave of her hand, the wings disappeared behind her back. Then the mermaid princess turned and entered the room. "This venerable, the two women you care about the most in this life, a mother and a lover, have been resurrected now. You should be satisfied." The inner demons muttered, retracted his gaze, turned, and walked out of the small building. Inside and outside the courtyard, a large group of people gathered at this moment. There were Wang Zicheng and others. There were Fatso and others. There were Lu Yun, Tan Wu, and others. There were Pangolin, Winged Snow Eagle, Black Dragon Snake, Hellhound, Scorpion King, and other beasts. In short, all the people and beasts who had a good relationship with Qin Feiyong were here. Everyone's face was full of concern. Seeing the inner demons appear, Fatso quickly went up and asked, "How is the boss? How else can he be? He is unconscious." The inner demons sighed. "What should we do?" Everyone was worried. The inner demons glanced at them one by one. Suddenly, he saw a woman in white behind the crowd. This woman was Linny. The inner demons walked to Linny step by step and said, "You know what? I really want to kill you now, but I know that I can't do that." "I'm sorry." Lin Yi lowered her head, her face full of guilt. The inner demon sighed. "Forget it. It's all in the past. Go in and see him." "Can I go in?" Lin Yi asked in a low voice. "Of course." The inner demons nodded and smiled faintly. Lin Yi was silent for a long time. She looked up at the wooden building and suddenly turned away. "What's wrong?" The inner demons was suspicious. "I have no face to see him now, and I have no face to face everyone. I am a sinner. Even if everyone will forgive me, I can't forgive myself." Linny stopped and murmured, "Yi, you don't have to do this because it's not your fault. It's the demon ancestor." Luo Qingzhu quickly stepped forward and persuaded, "Thank you, Sister Qingzhu. Please give me some time. I want to recover my lost memories." Lin Yi squeezed out a bitter and reluctant smile, then stepped into the air step by step, disappearing from everyone's sight. Sigh. "I'm afraid this matter will leave a knot in her heart forever." Feng Ling walked to Luo Qingzhu and sighed. "Yeah." Luo Qingzhu nodded. Boom. Suddenly, an aura burst out. This aura wasn't strong. It could even be said that it was very weak, but it made everyone turn pale with fright. Because the owner of this aura was the little prince. The little prince rushed out of the crowd, waving his small fist, and charged at the inner demons. "This kid is really not afraid of death." Willow Tree and Yu Huang muttered, "The price of angering the inner demons is very serious." Everyone was extremely worried, especially Emperor Hong and Old Qin, who stared at the inner demons firmly. They were ready to rescue the little prince at any time. Chapter 1886. But they didn't think that if the inner demons really wanted to kill the little prince, would they be able to stop him? The inner demons turned around and looked at the little prince. His blood-red eyes flashed with a cold light. Pang! The little prince punched the inner demons in the stomach, but the inner demons didn't even move. The little prince was shocked. He waved his hands and punched the inner demons in the stomach. He shouted, "Give me back my mother's life." The inner demons frowned. Suddenly, he slapped the little prince, and the little prince was sent flying. He hit the ground like a meteor, blood gushing from his mouth. "Is this all you've got? You disappoint me." The inner demons sneered. The little prince got up and stared at the inner demons. He clenched his fists. I don't mind telling you that with your current power, you can't even get close to me, let alone kill me. If you want revenge, you have to work hard. The inner demons snorted and turned around to leave. I will kill you, the little prince shouted. The strong prove themselves with their actions. Only the weak prove themselves with their mouths. You are the weak one. No, weakling? Seems like I'm overestimating you. At most, you're just a pathetic worm. The inner demons didn't even turn around. I am not a worm. I swear, I will kill you, the little prince shouted. Yes, you need this kind of will to become stronger. Hate as much as you want. Sometimes, hatred can also become a person's motivation, just like how I was back then, the inner demons murmured. The whole night, the inner demons stood alone by the lake, looking at the calm surface of the lake. His eyes were calm. No one knew what he was thinking. Dawn, Zhao Tailai and the other two, as well as the Blood Kirin and the other two, returned one after the other. They landed behind the inner demons. You sent them all away? The inner demons asked. Yes. The 3 men and 2 beasts nodded. The inner demons said, Thank you for your hard work. Go have a good rest. These are all trivial matters. I'm not tired. However, what the little boy said has always been of great concern to us. Zhao Tailai said. The inner demon said, His meaning is clear. He wants me to go to the divine ruins to find a solution. Tang Hai said, In the whole of Miracle, I think only Small Beast and Ice Dragon have this ability. Yeah, I already hate them, and now they want me to beg them. How annoying. The inner demons were quite angry. They took a deep breath and sighed. But now, there is no other way. The 3 humans and 2 beasts looked at each other. Zhao Tailai said, Why don't we go? You stay and take care of the young master. You? The inner demons looked at the 3 men and 2 beasts and shook his head. It's not that I'm looking down on you guys, but you guys won't be of any use. I'll go. After all, I have the kill formula. If there's no other choice, I can still give it a try. You've already said such words, and you still call that looking down on us? The 3 men and 2 beasts were speechless. But this was also the truth. With their strength, they were no match for Ice Dragon and Small Beast. Then when are you leaving? Zhao Tailai asked. The inner demons pondered for a while, and a strong murderous intent appeared in his eyes. He said in a deep voice, I don't dare to leave now, because the demon ancestor and these bastards have not been eliminated. Zhao Tailai and the others' eyes darkened. The demon ancestor and Mu Tianyang were indeed too big of a threat to them, and they had seen the strength of these two with their own eyes. Currently, in the 2 continents, only the young master and the inner demons could suppress them. But now, the young master had fallen into an eternal coma, and only the inner demons were left. If the inner demons also left, the 2 of them would take the opportunity to stir up trouble, and then no one would be able to stop them. The inner demons looked at the horizon, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. He said, I think they should all be in the Forgotten Continent now. You guys stay here and protect me. I'll go to the Forgotten Continent. Okay, be careful, the 3 men and 2 beasts warned. The inner demons nodded, took a step forward, and disappeared from everyone's sight like lightning. Whoosh! Not long after the inner demons left, the emperor rushed back. Seeing only Zhao Tailai and the others, he asked suspiciously, Where's the inner demons? They want to look for the demon ancestor and the others. Zhao Tailai said, Sigh, it's been hard on this child. The emperor sighed. Yeah, at first, I quite hated him, but now, I really admire him. He's responsible and responsible. With him around, I can feel more at ease. Chueli smiled. Tang Hai said, Whether it's him or the young master, they are the most reliable people. Zhao Tailai glanced at Tang Hai and said with a smile, Let's not talk about it. Let's go and see the young master. Forgotten Continent. Glacier Forest, above the sky. At this moment, Dong Jingyang, Snow Python, Qin Yuan, Demon Ancestor, Mu Tianyang, Demon Dragon, and Mu Qing gathered together. Snowflake, Bloodblade, and Demon Pagoda were also floating at the side. However, Everyone remained silent. The atmosphere was quite heavy. So this is the reason why you saved us. But I advise you, it's best to explain it clearly to the inner demons. Qin Feiyang doesn't matter. Even if you don't say it, he will forgive him. But the inner demons will probably hate you for the rest of your life. The demon ancestor was the first to break the silence. Looking at Qin Yuan, this old man will find an opportunity to explain it to him. Qin Yuan said, "Wait, what does this have to do with this emperor? You can do whatever you want, but don't take the initiative to add this emperor into it." Mu Tianyang said coldly, "Then what do you want to do? Continue to fulfill your ambition to rule the two continents." Dong Zhengyang said, "Why do you care?" Mu Tianyang raised his eyebrows. "I really don't have the qualifications to care, but if you insist on being stubborn, I can only use the seal of destiny to control you again." Dong Zhengyang said. Mu Tianyang's pupils shrank. "Ancestor, a wise man knows better than to fight when the odds are against him. These people are not good people. We might as well agree to them first." Mu Qing said telepathically, "You are indeed all here." Then, a bone-chilling voice sounded. The inner demons stepped into the sky step by step and landed in front of the group of people. Seeing the inner demons descend, Mu Qing and Mu Tianyang's expressions suddenly changed. Emo Long's eyes were also filled with fear. But Dong Zhengyang had a trace of a smile on his face. He looked at the inner demons and said, "You came at the right time. You'd better shut up while I'm still in a good mood." The inner demon said mercilessly. Dong Zhengyang smiled embarrassedly. In the face of the inner demons, he did not dare to be too presumptuous. The inner demons turned to look at Qin Yuan and said, "I'll give you a chance to explain for the sake of this lord. But your answer must satisfy me, otherwise." The inner demons glanced at everyone present and laughed cruelly. "I don't think all of you together can withstand my anger." "Arrogant." Mu Tianyang snorted coldly. Swoosh. But before Mu Tianyang's voice died away, a blood-red sword aura appeared in a flash and instantly sank into Mu Tianyang's lower abdomen. "Ah!" Mu Tianyang immediately screamed in pain, and a fist-sized bloody hole suddenly appeared in his lower abdomen. It shattered Ancestor's sea of qi just like that? Mu Qing could not believe it and hurriedly reached out to support Mu Tianyang. "Do you still dare to talk nonsense now?" The inner demons looked at Mu Tianyang with contempt in their eyes. Mu Tianyang gloomily stared at the inner demon. However, his heart was filled with an unquenchable fear. Too strong. He could not resist at all. The inner demons turned to look at Qin Yuan and said, "Speak." "It's like this." Qin Yuan sighed deeply and said slowly. About an hour passed. Qin Yuan finally finished. The inner demons frowned and looked at Dong Zhengyang. "This is the taboo you saw with the seal of destiny?" "That's right. At that time, I saw a very distant future. That's why I was killed." Dong Zhengyang said, "Although it's very serious, this is only your side of the story. How can I believe you?" The inner demons said, "It doesn't matter whether you believe it or not. Because what you're really worried about is that we'll continue to harm these two continents. As long as you can help us enter the ancient world, we won't be able to do it even if we want to." Dong Zhengyang said. The inner demons lowered their heads and pondered. The demon ancestor looked at the inner demons and said with a smile, "Actually, I don't believe it either, but I'm willing to take a gamble." The inner demons glanced at the demon ancestor, then at Qin Yuan and the snow python. Finally, they looked at Dong Zhengyang and said, "I can help you, but you and the snow python must be controlled by me with the seal of slavery." "How dare you?" The snow python said angrily. The inner demon said, "You have no right to speak here." "Shut up. Didn't I ask Qin Yuan to control me with the blood soul technique?" The snow python said angrily. The inner demons sneered. "What's the use of a trashy technique like the blood soul technique? You." The snow python was furious. "That's enough." Dong Zhengyang waved his hand and smiled at the snow python. Then, he looked at the inner demons and nodded. "I promise you." The inner demons didn't waste any time. They directly formed two seals of slavery and entered the skulls of Dong Zhengyang and the snow python like lightning. The blood soul technique in the snow python's body was also shattered in an instant. Soon, Dong Zhengyang and the snow python were controlled by the seal of slavery. The inner demons immediately peeped into their inner thoughts. But Dong Zhengyang's inner thoughts were like a dead sea, without any fluctuations. They couldn't see through him at all. But the snow python, he could see it clearly. At this moment, the snow python's inner thoughts were full of hatred and anger towards him. Dong Zhengyang said with a smile, "Now you can rest assured." The inner demons glanced at him indifferently and said, "Since you want to go to the ancient world, then go as early as possible. Go now. You really can't wait." Dong Zhengyang shook his head and sighed. "But, to open the teleportation altar, we need 10 war gods. We seem to be short of a few people. No need. I can open it alone." The inner demon said. A smile appeared on the demon ancestor's face. Dong Zhengyang looked at the two of them and shook his head with a smile. "I forgot that both of you have 3,000 incarnations. Since that's the case, let's go." Qin Yuan waved his hand, and a group of people suddenly appeared in the sky above the demon dragon island that had disappeared. The demon ancestor glanced at the surrounding void and sighed. "I have committed a heinous crime here. Don't pretend there. No one will forgive you, and no one will pity you." The inner demon said expressionlessly. Then, his divine sense rushed towards the sea below. Chapter 1887. The demon ancestor sighed. Not to mention the inner demons and the living beings of the two continents, even he himself could not forgive himself. In a short while, the inner demons found the altar that had sunk to the bottom of the sea. A group of people entered the sea and quickly landed in front of the altar. Whoosh! The inner demons waved his hand, and a dozen incarnations appeared, immediately reviving the altar. Very soon, the altar was fully revived. Bloodlight surged, enveloping all directions. The inner demons dispersed the incarnations and said, "Let's go up." After living on this continent for so many years, to be honest, I'm still a little reluctant to leave. Dong Zhengyang smiled. "Hurry up." The inner demons raised his eyebrows. As long as these people did not leave, his heart would not be at peace. "You have to take care." Dong Zhengyang looked at the snow python and smiled slightly. Then, he took a deep breath and took the lead to step onto the altar. The demon ancestor waved his hand and led the demon pagoda and the demon dragon onto the altar. "I'm really unwilling to leave just like that," Mu Tianyang muttered. "There's nothing we can do about it." Mu Qing sighed and then led Mu Tianyang onto the altar. The inner demons looked at Snow and Bloodblade and said, "And you guys, hurry up." The two heaven-defying artifacts had already repaired their bodies. The inner demons could clearly sense that the two artifact spirits wanted to kill him. But the inner demons did not take it to heart at all. When the two heaven-defying artifacts also entered the altar, the inner demons also stepped onto the altar. "You're going too?" Qin Yuan was stunned and asked, "If I don't go, how will they enter the ancient world?" Besides, as the inner demon said this, his hands suddenly clenched, and a determined light burst out from his eyes. Immediately after, the group of people standing on the altar gradually disappeared. Miracle. Beside the altar that led to the third level, the fire python's huge body was coiled on the ground, closing its eyes and dozing off. Suddenly, it opened its eyes, and 2 rays of divine light burst out. Who entered the miracle? Could it be Qin Feiyang? It mumbled and instantly disappeared without a trace. The second level, above a certain mountain range. Swish! One figure after another appeared. It was the inner demons. Mu Qing looked down and murmured, "I didn't expect you to come back so soon, Brother Qin." A cry of surprise sounded. Then, the fire python appeared in front of the group of people. "Brother Fire." The inner demons stepped forward with a smile on their faces. Fire python sized up the inner demons and frowned. "Wait, you're not Brother Qin?" The inner demons said, "I am his inner demons." "So it's you." Fire python nodded and asked, "What about Brother Qin?" "He didn't come," the inner demons said. The fire python was slightly stunned and said worriedly, "Why didn't he come? Did something happen?" "There's a situation." The inner demons nodded, pointed at Demon Ancestor and the others, and said with a smile, We'll talk about this later. Send them to the ancient world first. Send them to the ancient world? Fire Python raised his eyebrows and glanced at Demon Ancestors Group. He looked at the inner demons and said, although Lord Beast God has left the miracle, entering the ancient castle is not child's play. You have to tell me the reason, right? Dong Zhengyang transmitted his voice. Inner demons, you can't tell him about this, let alone Ice Dragon and Small Beast. The inner demon's eyes flashed and said with a smile, Brother Fire, this matter is very complicated. I'll tell you when there's time in the future. All right. Fire Python nodded, closed his eyes, and extended his perception to the first level. Swish. After a while, Fire Python opened his eyes and led a group of people to descend above a canyon on the first level. There was an aura that made one's heart palpitate in that canyon, and the fierce beasts that lived in the canyon all retreated to the side at this moment, their eyes filled with fear. The inner demons waved his hand, and a wave of divine power rolled out, crossing the void in the canyon. Rumble. Immediately, it was as if something had collided with the divine power, and an ancient stone door appeared. The inner demons lowered his arms, looked at Demon Ancestor and the others, and said, That's the gate to the ancient world. Go in. See you later. Dong Zhengyang said to the inner demons, then turned around and led everyone into the gate to the ancient world without looking back. Soon, the stone door was hidden in the void again. The inner demons finally breathed a sigh of relief. Fire Python couldn't wait to ask, Brother Qin, what happened? He opened the gate to rebirth, and now only a trace of consciousness is left. This time, I came to the miracle to send those people into the ancient world, and to find a way to wake him up and let him cultivate again. The inner demons looked at Fire Python and said. Fire Python's expression froze. The inner demons asked, Brother Fire, do you have a way? Fire Python shook his head and said, I really don't have a way. But what? The inner demons looked at Fire Python expectantly. Fire Python said, Lord Beast God definitely has a way, but now it's a miracle. What about Ice Dragon? The inner demons asked. Fire Python said, it didn't appear on the second floor, so it probably left too. Damn it. The inner demons' heart sank. Actually, don't have too much hope, because even if you find Lord Ice Dragon and Lord Beast God, they won't help you. Fire Python sighed. No matter what, I won't give up. The inner demons said in a deep voice, I didn't expect that you, the inner demons, would have such deep feelings for this sovereign. How about this? You go to the third floor and take a look. Maybe there's something hidden in the third floor that can save Brother Qin? Fire Python said. Okay. The inner demons nodded, then said, while you're at it, look for that damn fire dragon. Fire Python's eyes were also filled with hatred and said, if you find it, you must help this sovereign kill it. Don't worry, killing it now is as easy as turning over my hand. The inner demon said confidently. Fire Python was stunned, then smiled and said, it seems that you've grown a lot after leaving the miracle. With that, Fire Python brought the inner demons to the altar. Boom. Divine power surged, and the altar quickly recovered. When the altar recovered, Fire Python looked at the inner demons with a serious expression and said, I don't know the situation on the third floor, but I heard from my father that it's a very scary place. You must be careful. I will. The inner demons nodded and stepped on the altar without any fear. Soon, he appeared in an ancient hall. There was nothing in the hall. The door of the hall was also tightly shut. This should be the hall that the Fire Python mentioned before. The inner demons glanced around the hall and muttered to himself. Back then, the Fire Python had told Qin Feiyang that he would appear in a large hall after entering the third floor. This hall was where Small Beast usually stayed. The inner demons walked around the hall and didn't see Small Beast and Ice Dragon. It seemed that they had really left. Then, the inner demon strode to the door of the hall and pushed it hard. However, he found that the door seemed to be fixed to the ground. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't push it open. I'm not even afraid of heaven-defying divine weapons. How can a mere door stop me? The inner demon's aura was fully released, and he punched the door. However, the door did not even tremble in the slightest, much less shatter it. It's so sturdy. The inner demons raised his eyebrows, condensed a blood-red sword, and slashed at the door with all his strength. Clang! Boom! The door didn't break, but the blood-red sword in his hand was knocked back. The inner demons was dumbfounded. At the same time, in the sky above the messy mountains, a man and a beast were fighting crazily. It was Lu Jiajin and Ice Dragon. Can you do it or not? It's been several months, and your strength hasn't improved at all? A piece of trash like you dares to threaten this emperor to be your mount? How ridiculous! Ice Dragon's huge eyes were full of contempt. With a claw, Lu Jiajin immediately smashed into the ground below like a meteor. His body was dripping with blood. I'm not convinced again. Lu Jiajin got up and roared at Ice Dragon. Suddenly, Ice Dragon raised his eyebrows and turned to look into the distance. A trace of playfulness gradually crept into his eyes. Now, seeing that Ice Dragon was distracted, Lu Jiajin's eyes lit up. He rushed up like lightning and punched Ice Dragon's head. Ice Dragon calmly raised its tail and slapped Lu Jiajin away again. His body was almost torn apart. You actually want to sneak attack me? It seems that you're not only a trash, but also an idiot. Ice Dragon said disdainfully, What are you so proud of? Again. Lu Jiajin roared. Whoosh. Ice Dragon instantly pushed him away and joked, I'm tired of playing. Let's find someone else to play with you. Someone else? Lu Jiajin was stunned and looked around in surprise. Ice Dragon's claws stretched out in the air, and a supreme force emerged. The next moment, a blood-haired youth appeared in front of Lu Jiajin. Lu Jiajin looked at the blood-haired youth and was slightly stunned. At the same time, the blood-haired youth looked around in confusion. When he saw Lu Jiajin, he was also stunned. Big cousin? That's right. The blood-haired youth was the inner demons. Lu Jiajin quickly ran to the inner demons and said in surprise, Why are you here? Where's little cousin? The inner demons was about to speak when he suddenly sensed Ice Dragon's aura. When he looked up, there was a trace of joy in his eyes. Ice Dragon didn't leave. That meant there was still hope. What's with that look? Shouldn't you be afraid when you see me? Why do you look like you've seen your savior? Ice Dragon was stunned. Lu Jiajin glanced at Ice Dragon and then at the inner demons. Answer me quickly. Sigh. The inner demon sighed and briefly told him about Qin Feiyang's current situation. What? Lu Jiajin's face turned pale. So this time you came to the divine site to save my cousin? That's right. The inner demons nodded. He looked at Ice Dragon again and bowed. Senior, you're so powerful. Please, save him. So you have something to ask of me. Ice Dragon was enlightened. Lu Jiajin looked at the inner demons and gritted his teeth. He looked up at Ice Dragon and said, Old thing, didn't you want me to be your disciple? As long as you promise to save my cousin, I'll acknowledge you as my master. Master? The inner demons was stunned and looked at Lu Jiajin suspiciously. Lu Jiajin said, It's a long story. I'll tell you later. Right now, saving my cousin is more important. Okay. The inner demons nodded. Yes, you're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.